This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Need a loan right now? Saul's Jewelry and Loan offers top dollar on all your high-end watches, Rolex, Breitling, Omega, and much more. And loans on all firearms, shotguns, handguns, and rifles. And even collectible cars of all makes and models. Get the cash loan you need right now at Saul's.
Leaves falling to the ground, a chill in the air, and jack-o'-lanterns on the front steps. You know what that means? Yep, Old Man Winter's coming. Call Skradsky Heating and Cooling. Now through October 31st, you can save $499 on a single system or $1,099 off a full system. Family owned and trusted. Skradsky Heating and Cooling. Get details at heatomaha.com.
Cross Train Brewing Company, the official sponsor of One Beer Friday on 1620 The Zone, where beer is Nebraska fresh, never boring, and always evolving. Find them at the original location in La Vista, at their DraftWorks location downtown, or at crosstrainbrewing.com.
Lindley Clothing is celebrating 90 years with a huge anniversary sale going on now. Save 40% on suits, sport coats, and outerwear. Plus, to celebrate 90 years, Lindley is giving away 90 items. Lindley Clothing, 132nd and Dodge.
Hey there, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. It's time for hunting here in the Heartland. And before you go out, remember that safety needs to be your number one priority. Remind yourself to be doubly sure of your target and background before you even aim. And in a moment, ask yourself, is that a legitimate target? Is the bullet flight path clear? And what am I going to hit if I miss my shot? Be safe out there. I'm Greg Wagner.
Get a full breakdown of what went right and what went wrong immediately after every Nebraska game with Big Red Overreaction. Presented by No Name Nutrition and Equitable Bank. Also brought to you by Prairie Flower Casino, Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, and by Peerless Energy Systems. Immediately after the game, join the show and sound off with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Big Red Overreaction. When the clock strikes 0 after each Nebraska game, it's time to sound off on 1019 The K and 1620 The Zone.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
24-monthly bill credits on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro, 256 gigs, $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Childcare providers know that little kids are a big responsibility, and you work hard to do your best for the families who depend on you. But help may be available. If you own or work at a childcare program, you may be eligible for Nebraska's School Readiness Tax Credit. Find out if you or your program qualify, because in the work you do for our youngest kids, every dollar counts. Learn more at schoolreadiness.taxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation, and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
What has cancer taught me?
The sky is pink at sunrise.
Brave does not mean stoic.
Friends will fill your freezer.
And that I have the academic specialists, the clinical trial options, the level of personalized care.
I couldn't have gotten anywhere else.
Nebraska Medicine, Fred and Pamela Buffett Cancer Center.
Because at the end of the day, I want the best chance to be here for tomorrow.
Get a second opinion at nebraskamed.com/cancer.
Husker Preview Friday is powered by McKinnis Roofing and Sheet Metal. Looking for trusted experts to protect and enhance your home or business? We are McKinnis, Nebraska and Iowa's go-to choice since 1981. For commercial or residential projects, trust McKinnis Roofing and Sheet Metal. Visit McKinnisInc.com today.
Every Husker home game Saturday at 1620 the pregame on 1620 the Zone and 1019 the Keg. Presented by Chandler Conway, Nebraska personal injury lawyers you can trust. Every Nebraska home game day, join me, John Bishop, and Michael Severe, live inside Blur Tailgate for Husker analysis, a look at the day's slate of college football, and more. 2.5 hours before kickoff, we get you game ready. 1620 the pregame, where Nebraska game day starts. Also presented by the Sedora Law Group. Your outcome depends on what you do next on 1019 the Keg and 1620 the Zone.
The Zone Hotline is powered by Prairie Flower Casino. Play longer, win more.
1620 the Zone. Live from 50th and Capitol Avenue in the Big O. This is Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone. 1620thezone.com and 1620 The Zone TV. Now here's Gary, Matt, and Jimmy.
All right, good Friday morning. It is a Football Friday Fiesta, and it's actually a game day. So Nebraska, which once a year, Nebraska gets to play on Friday night. Tonight they play up in the Twin Cities against Minnesota. 7 o'clock kickoff. Nebraska is a 7.5-point favorite.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I was wrong. I thought it'd get back up to 9.5, but that's where we're at.
7.5-point favorite. Do not overlook the fact that Nebraska, by the 18th of October, could be bowl eligible tonight with their 6th victory. It's the little things around here. Back-to-back years of bowl eligibility. Nebraska can do that. They can win back-to-back road games in the span of 6 days and prove to everyone out there a couple of things. One is that this is the 25 Huskers, not the 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13 Huskers. This is the 2025 Huskers that are built different and prove to people tonight up at Huntington Bank Stadium that Nebraska looks more like Minnesota and Minnesota looks more like Nebraska.
Yeah.
I mean, so welcome into a Football Friday Fiesta. Good morning.
Good morning. Are you ready for a Pound the Rock game? I mean, this is...
Nope. I am ready for a spread the field, get in space, and throw the football game.
That's what you're ready for?
That's what I think is the best mode of transportation tonight.
Oh, I would thought Emmett running angry, running
Well,
over all
that's
those
kind
dudes.
of what I want. But why can't Emmett run angry when they throw him the ball out of the backfield?
So that is true.
Put guys in space and hit your head on the goalpost.
Well, I think the pound the rock game should definitely not take away from the fact that Dana Holgerson has been absolutely in his bag when it comes to the quick game, it comes to the screen game, it comes to the extension of the run game. I'm also on this escapade of I want Dylan turning his back to the defense more, because I think in the very small sample size that he's done it, he's been so effective doing it, and pounding the rock would help him do it. But I just, you know what? We just want 4 consistent quarters, baby. That's just what we're looking for.
I don't know that they're capable of playing 60 minutes of consistent football, but the gut has settled down. I will tell you my gut prediction a little bit later, but the gut has settled down. I have no more hesitancy. I think I know how this game is going to be played, but there is one wild card in this game.
Okay.
And we'll explain as we go along. So Football Friday Fiesta, the huge lineup is with you ahead of Nebraska and Minnesota again tonight. It's Friday. We have a game. We have a show. It's not wait until tomorrow. It's wait until 7 o'clock tonight. Brett Ciancia from Pick Six Previews, Lee Sterling, and Mike Schaefer will all stop by to break down Nebraska and the Gophers. Week 8 of the college football season, which has some intrigue to it, including Jelly Roll being the guest picker on game day in Athens.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Okay.
I'm great human.
Yes.
Great human.
Yes.
Along with his vocals.
I actually like it.
Yeah, it's
Quite a
almost like we might be running. They've been to Athens so many times.
Mm-hmm.
They're running out of.
I mean, you
running out of Georgia-based
can only
people.
run Jason Aldean and Luke Bryan out there so many times.
How about
Could
Usher?
Uga pick?
How about Usher? Georgia. I know it's more so Atlanta, not Athens, but you can have a little.
I don't know. Is Usher a college football fan?
Probably not. I don't think he strikes me as somebody who's watching Western Kentucky play, on a Tuesday night.
But I think ESPN with game day, like their pickers, they know the audience, like the country music audience, and I know country music,
Yeah, the
crosses
SEC
over.
homes. Makes sense.
Our Sweet 98 plays a bunch of country artists. I think they know their audience, and especially in the South and the SEC, they like some country music. So I'm looking forward to Jelly Roll, the skinny Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll, great actor. I mean, he was incredible in Tulsa King.
Hey, and he's a wrestler. Like, there's a good life. He tells a great story.
He does tell a great story.
Yeah, his face tells you his story of Jelly Roll.
His performance at the CMAs a couple of months ago was absolutely incredible. I mean, he was singing more Christian-based music. He's cool, man. He's cool. He's a very inspirational guy, but I also love that, like, he is the way he is, but then he has all the face tattoos.
Well, so he is. I've watched videos of him speaking, because usually on his concert tours, he will go to like the county jail because he used to be in the county jail in Nashville, and he will tell stories of his face is the story of his life.
Yeah,
the different tattoos that he has. So he's going to be the game day picker. NFL this weekend. Last night in sports, first of all, the month of October continues to deliver. Everything is coming together. We got exhibition basketball tonight, Iowa State and Creighton. Then tomorrow, the ATM machine takes on Nebraska down at PBA. Why do you laugh?
I just think,
why do you laugh?
It's just funny.
One guy for BYU makes more than the entire Nebraska basketball roster.
It's just, that's ridiculous. I just laugh at it just because I just think it's so funny that's just where we are in college basketball, where it's just like, if you got a lot of great donors, you get all, I kind of miss the pageantry of like trying to butter up the mother, and, having to travel to the house and, maybe put a little things under the table.
He hasn't seen blue chips.
You don't think Dibansa is Mormon, so that's why he's in Provo?
I'm gonna go. I don't know AJ.
Beautiful
I
place.
haven't talked to him personally or anything like that. I'm gonna go out on a limb and probably say no.
Okay. You get to see him and Richie Saunders tomorrow down in Lincoln. You will not see Owen Freeman or Jackson McAndrew tonight for Creighton and Iowa State. But the sports all come together. All the major sports are going on. Everything, college, pro, high school. Great night of high school football. Nebraska, you screwed things up. Okay, because there are 3 really, really good games in this general area for high school football. You got Waverly and Norris is a 1 versus 2 matchup. They're both 7-0. You got Scott and Bennington, which is a great game. And then the rivalry for the number 1 seed in Class A. You got Prep and Westside. They all kick at 7. Nebraska kicks at 7. We got to be better in the scheduling here. Come on, Nebraska.
I couldn't agree. I'm probably going to have the Prep and West Side game up during the Minnesota-Nebraska game. Like, I'm incredibly excited to watch.
So are you going to be able to do the doubleheader?
No.
Because you and Schreiner are supposed to do the Scott Bennington game.
Man, Mr. Everywhere.
That's what the promos say.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to be able
So you're bailing?
I'm not bailing.
Have you told John yet that you're
I
not going to be
have
there?
told John
Okay.
yet.
Send him a
But it
text.
would be incredibly
morning, buddy.
irresponsible of me to be on Big Red Overreaction and,
Not watch the game?
Yes. And
Josh, tell me what happened.
Well, exactly.
Matt.
So
and then he'll be like, you fart. And I'll be like, shut up.
And we'll be right back.
Well, that's true. I think you could do Big Red Overreaction without watching the game.
Oh, well, probably if
I'm
you're
listening.
going off of the like, okay, hey, John, what do you think about the game? You know, and you let John go and
there you
stuff
go.
like that. And then I'm sure you can look at the box score and be like, hey, they got gashed tonight and Minnesota had
think about this for a moment,
7.2
though.
yards per carry.
In a 6-3 win.
So I did a Big Red Overreaction way back. And I was in the middle of something.
Okay.
And so I missed like half a quarter.
Okay.
Now it wasn't that drastic. I still knew what was going on to come in and do the show. But I wonder if you could do Big Red Overreaction and the only way you followed the game was on Twitter.
That could be an experiment. You host enough of them to try it.
I think you could because the amount of tweeting that goes on from several different accounts, several different media members,
several different.
There's
a Husker Twitter, as it should be. That's what makes it so great on game days.
Does anybody else tweet as much as like the Husker media? Like, do other media affiliates tweet as much as?
Yes,
okay,
that's
what they do.
It's
a
like
lot
the
of tweeting.
newspaper guys are play-by-play, so
Sure.
they'll give you a lot more. I think all of us are more like reactionary and say things that the next morning people can't figure out, and they're like, "You really think this?" And I'm like, "I tweeted that in the first quarter. Okay, it was in real time. You like real-time tweets?" Yeah, no, I think
That
I
is
think
true. You definitely could.
I
think
think
you could.
following.
I think you could.
I think following a game on Twitter and then doing a post-game show, you could probably pull that off. I wouldn't recommend it because it'd be nice to watch the game, but I think you could get away with it.
I think you definitely
Yeah.
could, but I just choose
Try it
not
for one
to.
game.
I'm just.
Well, I mean,
not-
too
I'm
late
just-
now.
I know.
Yeah.
Houston Christian, that
but
would have been a game.
But
That
the
would exactly.
The sports are great because last night, when you're Jimmy and my age, last night was like a great night for us. Like last night was like the 40-year-old plus rec hockey league.
Shout
where
out
you-
Max Scherzer.
Where you're watching Max Scherzer, who is a dog. Man, he's got a growl. He's 41 and he does what he does last night, and that's like the old Max.
Sure.
And then you got the two old guys, the old heads that are playing
Played
in
great.
Thursday Night Football, Flacco and then Rodgers, who threw the ball in the air 70 yards at the end on that Hail Mary. But Cincinnati wins to beat Pittsburgh. Hey, things are coming in line for my
Zach.
team. Hey, for only the 5th time in their career, Rice and Worthy are going to play together on Sunday. Do you realize that the Chiefs are only one game back of the 2nd through 7th seed in the AFC?
I'm aware. So first off,
yes, Cincinnati. Let's go.
Okay.
Zach Taylor, save your job. Joe Flacco, how we doing? You know what? Today is a day that is dedicated to the 40 and overs that had a good sports night last night.
That makes me feel good.
Whether in
Thank you.
Seattle or in Cincinnati.
Especially having a
Father
newborn,
time
I don't feel
loss.
so old.
Five-time loss, first time in his career. He took an L yesterday. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. I want to talk about your team real quick because I was waiting to say this. I need to do a sidebar real quick on a sentence that's used too much in our industry.
Okay.
And so many people, and it's in reference to your team, say, if the playoffs started today.
That would be very uncomfortable.
It'd be a short season.
The Chiefs wouldn't be in the playoffs.
That is such a stupid. Let's just stop saying that because you know what? Do you know what's not happening? The playoffs starting today.
People forget.
Yes, the NFL is not going to say, "Hey, you know what, guys? We're cutting the season 12 weeks short. We're not gonna. We're done.
We don't want money.
We're going right into it." No. So when we talk about your team, right? Let's just say, you know what? They had a tough schedule to begin the season.
Expanding
They
the
suffered a
playoffs to
couple of
24
injuries.
teams.
They didn't start as well as we thought they would. You know what? They'd probably come back. But what do we now? All these people are trying to milk it out. They go, oh, if the playoffs started today. Just such a stupid sentence.
You know who in the Nebraska media was the gatekeeper of that sentence? Ryan Rosenthal. I don't think he does it now. He's a little bit busy. But people would put that out there.
Yeah.
He goes, that's not true.
It's not true.
Not true.
It's not true.
That's
good
why you
that-
say it after week
Hey,
one. If the
that's good
playoffs
that-
started today, Labor Day.
That's Nebraska football wouldn't be in the playoffs if the playoffs started today.
There you go.
To be fair, though, Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco looked really, really good yesterday. And a lot of people were getting on Mike Tomlin for kind of like crapping on Chris Berry for trading Joe Flacco all to a division rival.
Oh, no. Tomlin is smart. his anger directed towards Cleveland, very, very smart. Thank you, Cleveland. But I think if I'm a Steeler fan, man, you are in Tomlin purgatory.
In a way,
I know what you mean.
Mike Tomlin's
for a
great,
while.
great guy, longtime coach. That franchise has a move on from coaches. I have no fear of the Pittsburgh Steelers with Mike Tomlin as the head coach. I have absolutely no fear in the AFC. They're stuck. They're like the 8-9, going to win 10, but they're not a threat to ever win the Super Bowl because of Tomlin.
Like the Cowboys.
And that reiterated last night. He's the de facto defensive coordinator. I don't know. I would think that maybe there's a guy named Jamar Chase that I might want to find. That secondary got torched. I think it's tough being a Steelers fan. You got Aaron Rodgers. You got to keep healthy. But when he's healthy,
I remember
he's good enough.
Yeah.
But I think that they have a Mike Tomlin problem.
Well,
it's kind of like nice guy.
Sure.
He's going to win for us because he always wins.
He's never going to go 3-14.
Yeah, he's not going to. We're not going to get back to the Super Bowl.
They have failed to identify and acquire a quarterback over the last couple of seasons.
Well, that's fair. They didn't replace Big Ben, but
no, they did.
Okay, so if you don't have that, what about your defense? They're bad.
That's the main thing.
They're
Steelers
bad. They're bad
defense.
defensively, and that's kind of his wheelhouse.
And they've been bad defensively, and it's in part because and look, and what the point I'm getting at is Mike Tomlin is the type of head coach where yes, he's not the GM, but he has been around that franchise long enough where he gets to make a lot of personnel decisions, and he has decided to keep this very old defense together. And hasn't, they haven't really done that great with their draft picks and the young guys that they've brought in. On top of that, they haven't been able to get a quarterback since Big Ben has left, and that's why you're in purgatory.
Yeah, it was an unserious game last night, but if I'm a Steeler fan, I'm like, man, I'm stuck with Mike Tomlin. That's how I feel. And a great guy. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
It's super great for the sport, great for the organization, but I think they're on the ceiling. I think they've hit the ceiling. Some guy that's broken through the ceiling, Kurt Signetti, got paid yesterday. We'll talk about that because it is welcome to college football Coach Ray's season. It begins with Kurt Signetti, who
got paid.
Indiana, 8 years, $93 million. And Matt Rule goes on Pat McAfee, where he's more comfortable and has a different audience and says different things than he said on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens with the Day 5 of the Penn State.
Oh, whose day is it today?
No, see, I told you yesterday, Matt Campbell was the guy.
Yeah.
So Matt Campbell got discussed yesterday.
Okay.
I don't know. I think today will be quiet because we're going into a game day.
Mm-hmm.
Penn State, look out at Iowa. I mean, they may have a breath of woo-ah.
Sure.
So that's a little trick game. No, I think today we'll take the day off from the Penn State hot board, but Rule knew his audience yesterday. He's much different with McAfee. And you've got a different type of audience that you're talking to, where Monday it was so soon after, and he knew the questions were coming, and he handled them well, but it was like choppy. Like yesterday, he was a pro. I just think it's a different audience, and he knows what to say there compared to what to say here. He essentially kind of said the same thing. He still got some leverage, but Signetti got paid. People are wondering if Rule will get paid, and I say no.
He wants money
No,
other places.
First off, Rule is already getting paid a lot of money.
I say pay to elevate the program,
Yes.
not pay the head coach.
He's like, I make plenty of money.
Yeah. So that's a discussion point. Tim Brando will bring that up numerous times tonight. We will bring up how Nebraska deals with a 1980s, 1990s style quarterback in Drake Lindsay.
Oh, in good times.
In what way? A guy who throws the ball way too much and doesn't complete enough of his passes?
Not super mobile, just kind of stands in the pocket, a big boy with a big boy arm. Sometimes completes him, sometimes he doesn't.
1980s, 1990s quarterback is so
liked it.
Well,
you would have liked that time.
Being honest,
you'd have looked good in a starter
early
jacket.
2000s quarterback could probably suffice. Honestly, we weren't too far away from that in the early 2010s from just having big, tall, non-athletic, massive arm dudes just firing stuff. Hell, I watched Jay Cutler for most of my childhood.
Yeah, there you
life.
go. He was like,
all right, you have the lineup brought to you by the roof freeze of John Higgins Weather Guard. You got thoughts? It's been an interesting week. Distractions aside, whatever. It's time to play football tonight between Nebraska and Minnesota. Do not discount. I'm telling you, do not discount. Nebraska could get to 6 wins tonight. They're bowl eligible, and then they're on to the next thing. But in 6 days, they will have won back-to-back road games if they find a way to win tonight.
With distractions.
See, I don't think distractions.
You don't think so?
I don't think distractions. I don't think distractions. I don't. If they get beat tonight, they got beat because they were their own worst enemy in terms of how they play the game and make mistakes. That's how I feel. The gut has settled down. I think I have a good read on this game. But again, there's one wild card for Minnesota that throws me off.
Okay.
That he could go off. And I think that would be a problem for Nebraska. You can always join the show on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline, 402-951-1620, or on the Equitable Bank inbox. You can email us regularly and often for the same thing. Gary or Matt at 1620thezone.com, or on Twitter at Gary Sharp 1620, at Matt McMedia. Welcome to Omaha.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You are slowly getting your Omaha card.
I know.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. Okay.
All right. So you made a trip to our wonderful zoo, our world famous zoo.
Yes.
I think sometimes when people like, hey, what's there to do in Omaha? You kind of get exposed and you go, well, we do have a zoo. And you don't like start rattling off things.
Sure.
Like, okay, we got Durham, we got Jocelyn, we got all these other things to go. Hey, go down to see the old market.
Like animals.
But we have the zoo. It's a wonderful zoo.
It is.
You experienced the zoo for the first time yesterday. You survived.
Tell us about
it. You didn't get kicked out.
No, I didn't.
Nice day too.
It was
Warm.
incredible. Okay. It's the best zoo I've ever been to. I've been to the San Diego Zoo. So everyone who was in my comments being like, oh, San Diego's better. I've been there.
All
I
right.
prefer the Omaha Zoo.
Okay.
Brookfield Zoo in Chicago, elite zoo. Way better than that. It was incredible. Unfortunately, I did the wrong loop. If I went to the right, I would have gotten a beer quicker, which would have made the experience much better. But in 3 hours, I barely covered all of the ground I needed to cover. And I did not stop walking. Like, I did
So you
not
got
take
some
a break.
steps.
Oh, I
Yeah.
got in 13,000 steps.
There you go.
Okay. I did the Himalayas. I did the aquarium. I did the orangutans. Went to the gorillas. Kingdom of the Night. Okay. I could look at bats all day. All right. Those bats were absolutely incredible. I want to shout out somebody. My buddy Jack told me to go to Kingdom of the Night. I'm really mad at Jack though, because Jack knows I have a fear of alligators.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like
Stay away from steep spur.
I have a major fear of alligators.
How
And
was the smell in there?
Tough. But when I walked up to that little like wooden area, the dock area,
he was friendly,
and I saw all of the gators and the beady eyes, I had to take like a deep breath. Like I was very nervous.
He wasn't oh, hey,
they're
love the show.
literally
Tell
right
Gary
next-
hi.
It is sketchy. It is so sketchy how close you are to these incredible animals. And I fear alligators because I respect alligators. And so I kind of zoomed.
Javon
I kind of zoomed through there. Then I went the Desert Dome. Those aren't real rocks, right? At the Desert Dome, or are they real rocks?
I would think so.
They're
Why would
real.
They have
How
fake
did they
rocks?
get them in there? How did they like?
They transported him.
Yeah.
Well, I
crane
know.
and-
I don't think they.
I mean, not all rocks in the park are real.
Yeah.
Because some that have speakers in them.
Sure.
But those are.
Those I was sitting in there and I was like, I cannot believe that they got these formations into this dome. I was absolutely astonished.
I'm proud of you. We need to take our minion there, and because apparently they like fish.
It was so good. The aquarium. I could have stayed in that aquarium all day. I really could have. Under that little walkway where the sharks all are.
Yeah.
There were some people there working at the zoo. They were cleaning up the coral. I couldn't stop watching them with their little scrub-a-dubs, doing the little coral thing. It was incredible, man. I want to go back. I think I'm going to buy a season pass.
Hell yeah.
I think I will buy a season pass because I will walk through that zoo any day of the week. And I just put on my friend Mina Kimes. She was just in my
She was
ear.
there?
No. She
Oh.
my podcast.
Oh, got you.
I was just listening. She was just previewing the games to me.
Our
talking
boy's
about
growing up,
EPA.
man. All we need to have him drive 10
Analytics.
miles under the speed limit in the left lane on Dodge, and you are one of us.
No, I will.
It is a great place. You
It's
picked
such a great
you picked a good time of the year, middle of October. The weather was good. There weren't a ton of people there.
No, there wasn't. I mean, there were. A
What was the
decent amount.
demographic there on Thursday mid afternoon?
Young people, young kids, and old women were
Okay.
the two main people. It was Sally and Margaret who were out on a stroll trying to get the steps in, and then it
Ethel,
was
yeah.
little kids kind of just
Davis.
running around. I'll tell you this: I spent about 15 minutes watching those meerkats. I mean, they were incredible. I took a great picture of one of them, sent them to you. Where he's like looking at you funny. He was staring me down. He was staring me down.
Just picturing you getting these pictures.
It's a wonderful zoo. I mean, the people that work there and on a daily basis, what they've done, and it continues to grow. Did you tap on the glass when you saw my penguin that I sponsor?
Yes, I did. First off, I was taken aback by just the penguins in general. Like they
have a good time.
Those are the second animals. So I saw the puffins first.
Yeah.
And then after the puffins, you get to the penguins. And I was just taken aback by some of the emperor penguins they had there, how big they were. I mean, they looked like,
the
power
population. The population appears that it has grown a bit.
Oh,
so good.
Yeah.
There's a ton of them.
Congrats on the sex penguins.
Yeah, penguins are having sex. That's good.
I didn't go into the penguin exhibit and say, "Hey, which one of you is getting paid by Gary?"
Did you go, Sydney? Sydney.
That's your penguin, Sydney?
Why wouldn't I call a penguin Sydney?
True. Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
Although Yamir would have been a great flex.
I have
Yamir the penguin.
I have no idea what penguin that I sponsor. It's just they used to bring animals from the zoo into the radio station back in the day.
Damn.
And then I wanted to buy a penguin. I wanted to own a penguin.
Sure.
And I looked into it, and they eat a lot. And
that was your deterrent? Was the eating?
Well, yeah, I think I could handle it because I was looking at buying like a freezer, like just to throw the penguin in the freezer when they
not safe.
Like when you leave, they put a dog in a cage.
You can't just would
I
have to
put
get
the-
an industrial freezer.
I would put the penguin in a big walk-in like cooler, and it could just hang out there when I was gone.
Like those beer
Yeah.
caves and those cool liquor stores.
But the more I looked into it, it became really, really expensive. And then I looked at their food bill and I was like, you know what? I think I'm out.
Yeah.
So instead,
they don't eat Lunchables.
Instead, a gentleman who has
Morning
retired recently from the zoo, he was like, would you like to sponsor a penguin? And so I think I essentially am like a friend of the zoo, and they just say, hey, you got a penguin. So I just go with it. So every time I go to the zoo, I knock on the glass and I'm seeing which one recognizes me and comes like,
Dad,
waddling up to me.
which one of you's name is Kunitz?
Yeah.
I'm looking for a Ben Rusk. Is there a
No.
Ben Rusk
Yeah.
amongst one of
The
you?
ones that move the slowest are Latang and also Malkin. You'll see those. All right, so I'm glad you had a good time at the zoo.
I had an incredible. My back is hurting, but
Why?
Why?
because
What
it's a
did you
lot
do?
of walking.
You're 20 years younger
I'm
than
telling
us.
you right
My
now,
God.
my back hurts, man. My back was killing me. At the end of the day, I had to sit down.
I don't think you'd survive 5 minutes with our minion.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to go back and I think I need. First off, I didn't know that it had library times. I didn't know that it was a 9 to 5. I thought it might have been a little bit. I thought it might have been a little bit later, like a 7 o'clock.
Yeah, most
deal.
of the time they do close at 5, but if you're in the park, they don't like run you out.
Oh yeah, I figured. But
the animals wanted to watch baseball.
Watch
football.
What you need to do is now you need to expand and you need to go to Henry Dorley Zoo after dark.
Yes. Well, I need to have one of those margaritas because unfortunately I didn't hit that. I hit the Desert Dome last.
Yeah.
And then I found out that the Desert Dome area is probably the best area to just kind of hang out in. And they got the different like cafes and the little like eateries and like the VR. And next time I go, I'm going to live in that theater because I will just keep going to all those different movies that they're having. I looked at one of the margaritas. It looked absolutely delicious. I need to pick up one of those. I mean, I was there for 3 hours. I didn't stop walking and I feel like there's still so much I have to do.
Welcome to Omaha.
It's incredible.
We got a couple of more things you have to cross off, and then we'll officially welcome you to the city.
I got 100 new followers on Twitter too.
Just from going to the zoo?
Yeah, exactly. On my zoo thread.
People love the zoo.
Absolutely
People
wild.
love the zoo.
I got my
Omaha Zoo.
Look at my tweet, Jimmy. I have 1.2 thousand likes
let
on
me
my
go
on
pull
my
up your Twitter right
9.4 out of 10. I was
Nice.
like, maybe I'm in the wrong industry.
Yeah. Bruin Steve says he has
It's
an
a
annual
different
pass,
conversation.
well worth the money for planning going multiple times. Get your steps in.
Look at that meerkat.
Hey,
He's
it's
up
a
to
great
no
it's a
good.
great place to walk off a hangover. Cinco de Mayo went to South Omaha and just hammered margaritas.
ridiculous.
And then I was like, man, I am buzzed. And the zoo was close, and I'm like, I gotta walk this off.
Yeah.
So we went and walked around the zoo.
That's great.
Yeah. All right. You got the lineups of Football Friday Fiesta. A lot on what's happening tonight up in the Twin Cities between Nebraska and Minnesota. The weather looks great. Going to be a good crowd. Lots
Yeah,
of
warm
red
up
will be
there.
up there. White on white, maroon on maroon, a little bit of pink mixed in. Oh, then you got the fall colors. That's what it is. It's the fall colors at Huntington Bank Stadium tonight.
That's a
That's
t-shirt.
that
nice.
sounds like a great band. The Fall Colors sound like a great like folk band.
House band?
Yeah. Like your mom like started listening to them in like 2004 and they've been kind of niche since, but they play great music.
All right, off and running. Lots to discuss. Lots of sports to dive through. And also, Seattle. Someone has torn up the Hollywood script. The Mariners are supposed to coast. Now it's 2-2. Dodgers, though, hey, fly that L flag, Milwaukee.
Night tonight.
It's Gary and Matt with Jimmy on a Football Friday Fiesta ahead of a game today on 1620 The Zone.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
When I need a new furnace or AC, I choose a company that provides solutions that meet my needs and budget.
When my furnace or AC needs repairs, I call a company with reliable technicians, not commissioned salespeople.
When I need a straight answer, I choose a company that is honest and has integrity.
At Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we provide the best solutions for your needs.
All right, it is game day, Nebraska and Minnesota. Up in the Twin Cities, Nebraska's trying to change the thinking of everybody, trying to prove this is 2025. We don't care about 2015. And last time they won in white in Minnesota. So we will see tonight, kickoff 7 o'clock. Josh and Matt will have Big Red Overreaction immediately following the game. Tomorrow on game day, we're talking about Jelly Roll being the picker. Did you see who their special guest is for an interview during ESPN's game day?
SEC, ESPN. Is it LeBron?
There's not LeBron, even though he is out until mid-November.
Is it Trey Young? I'm just saying that because he had this big announcement with Adam.
Oh, no. James Franklin.
Oh,
he's going to be on game day.
Getting a start on that media career.
Yeah.
But it could be good.
And I think Franklin to me would be an automatic turnoff if he was on TV telling me about ball. His personality. So it kind of is like ESPN maybe is doing a little tryout here. But what?
Coach, you ever been to Gainesville?
ESPN, SEC, Fox, Big Ten. James Franklin, Big Ten coach, is on ESPN show.
But former SEC coach.
He is a former SEC coach. But still, you would think that maybe Fox would be maybe the Big Ten said no. Maybe Fox. You think Fox would be aggressive to say, hey, James, if you're going to speak, after you fell off the cliff in State College, why don't you come to the home of the Big Ten instead of going to game day? Because people will watch. I mean, how much more is he going to say? Because he's trying to couch what he might be working at next year.
His Penn State hot board?
Here's who I think would be ideal at Penn State. James Franklin.
Yeah. Well,
but he is on ESPN instead of Fox. That's interesting.
What a big brain move it would be
taking him
for ESPN to get James Franklin and be like, hey, James, just don't feel afraid to, prop up the USC a little, or to prop up the SEC a little bit and talk nice about the SEC. And, James, what do you really think about the Big Ten? Like, what do you think? I mean, you coach there, James. Like, do you think the Big Ten is deep? You coach about the SEC and the Big Ten. How is that different, James? He goes,
are you okay with the swamp renovations?
Yeah. He goes, well, when I was coaching the SEC.
Sounds like a good place for him.
When I was coaching the SEC, it was way harder than the Big Ten. The middle in the SEC is just way better than the middle in the Big Ten. That would be a big brain.
It just
play
means
from
more
from ESPN.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they ask him, and they won't, but I hope.
Right.
I mean, he was on the edge of the cliff, and he just fell off. I mean,
big time.
You find out more about that team and how fragile the roster was, and then you have a quarterback problem. So he'll start his media career. He'll look good on TV.
Sure.
He's good looking guy.
He is.
Okay. But he's a turnoff to me because I think he's very smug.
Yeah.
But I think he can coach football, and I think he has to find a place where he can coach football again and not stick around longer than 10 years. I think that's probably at Florida.
I wonder, though, like him being smug and his personality, like I more than likely, I don't think it's going to work out with him being in media.
Well, I think he'd rather coach than media.
Oh, for sure.
But, he has to pursue a job. It's like when you're on unemployment, you have to
fill out 5 a week.
Yeah, you have to fill like, okay, these are the jobs I applied for.
Sure. Well, I think the whole smugness thing, though, like Saban to a certain extent, like I didn't think Saban would be as good as Saban is. I'll just say that. Like
Saban looks like he's had media training. Correct?
Yeah. I mean,
love when he talks.
But
ball.
he also doesn't.
Remember when he changed, and he used to be like a Richard.
Yes.
Get off my lawn.
But then he started looking at the camera when he'd be interviewed. Like he'd be on the sidelines coming off at halftime, and he'd look at the camera, not at the person asking the question, and it'd be like, "Oh my God, I feel weird. He's looking into my soul." So he got some really good media training, and I think when you're not coaching, and you don't have to deal with it
You're
on
a little
Sunday.
looser.
Yeah.
Well, I think too with Saban, they probably had somebody tell him, like, probably coach him and be like, "Hey, it's good to be you. Like you can mix it. You can mix it up a little bit. Like you gotta present for the camera. But if you want to be like, that's stupid and that's dumb and say the S word all the time, go ahead and do it, because people like that.
They do like their bad words now.
They do. Show. They love Matt Rule was saying bad words yesterday.
No. Okay. So I don't think he was, but McAfee had just dropped the S bomb.
Yeah.
And he dropped the F bomb. And so it was in a run, and so they just kept it muted.
Sure.
Yeah. So I don't think Rule. Even though part of Rule's answer was muted, I don't think he would do that.
He was telling
Pat just had.
I'm talking about when Rule's talking about what Ja'Cory Barney was saying. and like his speech, and he was saying the S word, and he even said the F word. Because now
as kids do,
he's quoting Jacory, right? And it was a very, very funny moment. But he dropped the F and the S, which I don't care. I'm not a Karen. I don't care. I
our
know,
football coach is swearing.
I hear worse.
It's real world.
Yeah, I hear worse at home. Like that's just like seriously.
From your roommate?
Yeah,
no,
your roommate's a swearer.
I mean, that's just the classic phrase, like when you have parents who argue. You hear they hear worse at home.
Okay.
I
think I will find. I found the Oregons for Sharpie reached out to me because they are on my bandwagon because USC and Notre Dame play a huge game tomorrow. Of course, Nebraska, Minnesota tonight. All of this is mute if both lose. But we are in for Nebraska and USC to go 3-0 in the next 2 weeks to set up a monster November 1. I have found somebody that is vibing with me.
Okay, who's vibing with
Oregonians? Because Oregon, if you look at their schedule, they need USC to be kind of ranked when they play them.
Sure.
Which also means that for the next 2 weeks, they're going to be on my side. And then I'll be like, go USC, beat Nebraska.
So Lincoln Riley is now 5-11 against ranked teams after beating Michigan last week.
That's not a good
He's 0-5 against ranked teams on the road in his tenure.
That spread's pretty high.
8.5.
A lot of people are going, I'll take USC in the points, but I'm not so sure that they can beat Notre Dame. That's a playoff elimination game.
I think that spread, though, is getting kind of bumped up a little bit for Notre Dame because their defense has looked good. That's what people are saying. Oh, my God, Notre Dame's defense has looked really good. They've played NC State. They played Arkansas, okay? They played Mary Seed of the Blind. Like, they haven't played.
Notre Dame bias is coming out here.
No, it's not.
You think Notre Dame will
facts.
score?
Yes.
Notre Dame will score tomorrow night?
A couple field goals.
Notre Dame has one of the best offenses in the FBS. I mean, that's a fact. CJ Carr is incredible. Jeremiah Love is great. That offensive line actually looks like a prototypical Notre Dame classic offensive line. Like they lost Mitchell to the draft last year, but I don't know who
they just lost a starter for the year.
Who did they lose?
Their center.
Okay,
either the center or the guard.
Their tight ends are big and they're physical. Like Notre Dame's real. This is me. This is me telling you. You're saying my Notre Dame bias is coming out. This is me complimenting Notre Dame to tell you that I have watched their games and I respect their team.
Rick Meyer, good college
but
quarterback.
Their defense is trash. All right, their defense is awful. Right, I'm not going to unsee what I saw against Texas A&M. I'm not going to unsee what I saw against Purdue. I'm not going to unsee what I saw against Miami. It's awful, and don't sell me this BS because they held NC State to 7 points that they're all great now. All right. They're still bad.
Yeah, really, really one of the poor hires in the Marcus Freeman era at Notre Dame to go with Chris Ash as his defensive coordinator.
And they thought that Christian Gray was going to be this guy to take over at cornerback one for them. And it's just, he hasn't been. And there just are some guys, and this happens in the NFL too, they're great number twos. They're just not meant to be number ones. That guy ain't meant to be number one. And they lost X-Man to Atlanta, and he's had a pretty decent rookie season, and they haven't been able to fill that hole.
That'd be Xavier Watts,
yes,
product of Omaha Burke. So tonight's game, there's a lot of players to watch that have to be integral in each team's success. This will be he's always on this list when everybody does the top 5 players in the game, the guys that are going to impact the game. You always have Dylan on that list.
Sure.
This is I know you're going to say, hey, he threw 4 touchdown passes. He led a great game-winning drive at the end, and that is all true.
Mm-hmm.
But he also had 3 interceptions. Maybe not all of them were his fault, but they still go on his dime. And it's still the month of October, where we saw last year he kind of hit the wall in October. And granted, he had Indiana, Ohio State back-to-back. This is a bounce-back game, in my opinion, for Dylan Raiola tonight, because you can't have the label of the turnover-prone freshman year stick with you when you start game number 20 tonight. I think he has an opportunity to put up some big crooked numbers. I mean, like some big numbers in the passing game tonight.
Yeah.
But the biggest number will be to me is what are turnovers. I don't want to hear the PFF almost.
Okay.
But I will pay close attention to the turnovers, because you want to be able to say, hey, it was just one off. Okay. Had a bad day at Maryland. Okay. But we had the start of the year. Now we've had a couple of games. We've had turnovers. They haven't been back-breaking turnovers. Minnesota, if Minnesota's kind of had that back-breaking turnover this year.
Yeah, I have.
Nebraska's been able to avoid that. But again, they're playing with the high wire act. I'll watch the TOV category, but I think Dylan is this is set up for Dylan to have a big night throwing the football.
I think if Minnesota has one like big advantage in this game, it is the turnover department. They are giving the ball away less than Nebraska. They're taking the ball away more than Nebraska. And we talked about it yesterday on the wacky stats, right? Minnesota, they're only averaging 2.5 points per drive. But if you keep giving them the ball and you keep giving them opportunities, and if Darius Taylor, can be a little bit healthier and be more effective for Minnesota, that's the easiest way to lose the game. Now, not to make this a PFF thing, but I did tell you his turnover worthy percentage.
Collinsworth is like, come on, Matt. Yeah, I got you.
Here's a guy in Omaha who loves us.
The clerk can go back and read the reports from about 6 weeks ago when I told you that Dylan's turnover worthy percentage against Cincinnati was not indicative of the actual turnovers that he had, and that turnovers were coming against Michigan. They came. They came against Michigan State. They came against Maryland. He's been getting away with it. Now teams are actually taking advantage of it.
That's the hesitancy I spoke about the other day is Nebraska's been able to get away with some stuff.
Yes.
They've been able to clean it up, and that kind of shows they're better equipped. But there's at some point that the bill comes due.
And it came due.
Yeah, you just hope it's not tonight. Keep this in mind. Nebraska's still a 7.5-point favorite. Last 6 home games for Minnesota as an underdog, they're 1-5 straight up. 1-5 straight up as an underdog. Last 6 at home.
That's a great stat. That's one of those stats where you're pissed that you didn't find it. That was a good one.
You should be proud, not pissed.
All right, 54 past the hour. Hour number 2
around.
coming up. A busy hour. Brett Ciancia stops by. Also, Lee Sterling with his picks on the weekend. We'll have our picks a little bit later. Had a rough week last week.
You and I both.
Oh, I thought
no.
We both had the UCLA Michigan State game.
Yeah, shoot.
We both go 1 and 2.
Both of them 1 and 2.
Okay.
I did not take advantage.
All right. Well, it's a bounce back week for everybody. Hey, if Joe Flacco can bounce back, we all can bounce back.
Okay. We're not going to get into a segment. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he's incredible. He's just an incredible human, and he's an incredible football player. I just want to leave it at that. We don't have to talk about it. He's incredible.
And he made Mike Brown look like a genius, which you don't hear very often. All right. Hour 2 of Football Friday Fiesta ahead of Nebraska, Minnesota tonight. And a good slate of ball, y'all. High school, college, pro, amateur, indoor.
Amateur.
On your TV, on your video console.
What are we having, a flag football game?
I never know who might be throwing it around. I watched the Elkhorn North students play football in the parking lot last night, so they qualify.
Good for them.
We're back with more after this on 1620 The Zone. Here in old school Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen, one of the greatest guitar artists of all time. On the morning after Ace Frehley passed away, lead guitarist for Kiss at the age of 74, Mr. Guitar Hero.
Oh, I did not know that.
But, I mean, what, B.B. King, Hendrix, Clapton, Eddie Van Halen, Santana,
Jeff Beck,
Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah, I mean, we go on and on
Kirk.
of great guitarists. And Ace Frehley is right there. But, yeah, one of the founding members of Kiss, the legend, passed away at the age of 74 yesterday.
We need to
stop talking about certain groups because then it comes. We were talking about Kiss last week. Yes, I know what you're saying.
We need to get arcade games back in movie theaters. Okay.
Oh, I thought you were talking about here.
That was
we have a basement.
Oh,
that was the best thing growing up. You would go to a movie. Movies were cheaper. You'd go watch with your parents. Then you come back after, and they would let you. They give you like $2 or $3, and you'd go and you'd put it in the little. They had the motorcycle machine, right? And you go and race with your brother or your sister on the motorcycles. You go and do the claw machine. Or at my theater, we had Guitar Hero.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always go to the Guitar Hero machine, and we would play Guitar Hero, and it was like Slow Ride. It was the best song. It was really
take it easy.
You felt good about yourself. You're like, all right. And then you left and you went back home and you had a Lunchable. Okay. I feel for the youth of America today because I go to these movie theaters and they don't have these games anymore. Okay. We need to bring back.
But they still have Lunchables.
But they still have Lunchables. But now.
Morning, Gary.
Yeah. I mean, you need to bring, that was the childhood experience. Was you go and you watch a R-rated movie that that your dad shouldn't have brought you to, and immediately about
she was an ice pick killer.
He was like, maybe Bad Teacher with Cameron Diaz wasn't the place to bring my 8-year-old child, but you know what? We're gonna go and we're gonna play some motorcycles afterwards. All right, that was.
What do you mean she used to be
up.
on Saved by the Bell?
Okay,
where'd you guys? You have a first pick in the all-time guitarist. Who would your pick be?
Probably Jimi Hendrix.
Oh man.
I just thought of somebody else.
But I'm not very, this is not my area of expertise. I'm not, I just want to say this right now. I can't really have
Jimmy Page.
See, that's who I
love.
When
I
was just rattling off the ones that came to mind, Jimmy Page would be like near the top.
Prince had that one guitar solo that after the Rolling Stones didn't put him on the top 100 guitarists of all time. And it was like kind of a revenge guitar solo that he had. And I will just go back on YouTube sometimes and just play it and just listen to it. This is incredible.
By the way, kudos to North Platte football.
Yes, I saw that.
North Platte to Millard South to Buell is a long trip. And maybe Lincoln High did North Platte dirty by Lincoln High forfeiting the week before against Millard South. And then if North Platte forfeits, it's like, so North Platte drove all the way across the state to get beat 84-0 last night by Millard South. Now, Millard South is scheduled to play Omaha Benson, who last check they were down 56-0 last night. I guess Benson is planning on playing.
Okay.
But 84-0 last night. I say kudos to North Platte because you could have stayed out west and said, nah, we're not driving across the state because we know what's going to happen. And we might get decimated with injuries and we're not going to be able to play our final game. But they got in the bus and they drove all the way across the state to get beat 84-0. So good on people that are the caretakers of the North Platte football program because they came to play, but 84-0. It was another night of blowouts. We finally got a good game on TV last night. So Gretna East and Elkhorn North, and Gretna East really, really good victory.
Another warm night for you too.
The weather has been great this year. Like Thursday and Friday nights for high school football. I mean, we're still in summer. We're in late summer.
Yeah.
We haven't even had fall yet. But good performance by Gretna East. There were 4 lead changes in the game. Connor Sams was going to Air Force. He's a hoss, over 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 long touchdowns, and a good win by Gretna East. Omaha North won at Bell West last night. Darian Jones, you're going to be a dude. I've liked him for, I like the Jones family. He had a receiving touchdown. I think he had a pick 6. I saw a highlight of, and North won that game. Iowa's getting a good pickup. That's a really, really good player. So it leads us to tonight with some good high school games. We mentioned them earlier. You got B, Norris and Waverly. Great game. Great game. Both teams 7-0. Number 1 and number 2 in B. I don't think people give Norris enough credit.
I mean, I haven't seen them play this year, but I know that they've been dominating at the B
My
level.
nephews are going to play for them pretty soon.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, just like a Gretna job and a Miller job and a Blair job and a Bennington job, like the Norris, being a coach at Norris because you're on the edge of Lincoln. A lot of people work in Lincoln, but they live in the Norris school district.
Yeah.
Like those are like, when you're looking for jobs, like sports jobs,
sure.
Like you're like, you pick and choose your places. But yeah, so Norris across the board. I mean, all their athletics, but football, they're really, really good. And then Scott and Bennington playing tonight, but Prep and Westside play over at Phelps. All these games are at 7.
I know.
Well, Nebraska plays at 7. Be better, Big Ten.
I'm going to have tonight on when we're watching the game, because we're going to be watching the game here in the studio. Like
Plenty of beer in the fridge.
We'll just be
Get some
watching the
pizza.
game for all 4 quarters. We're going to have Prep and West Side on one screen. We'll have the Nebraska-Minnesota game on another screen. And then we'll probably have another Nebraska high school football game. I'll try and toggle back and forth. But also, too,
it's okay
Trey
with Josh.
Taylor
Whatever you want to
plays
watch.
Loyola Academy tonight, which that'll be a massive game because Loyola Academy, back-to-back state champions in Illinois, they might not make the playoffs this year. If they lose this game to Trey Taylor and Carmel, they're 4-2 with a really tough schedule afterwards. They got to play Mount Carmel, who's got Claude and Puma on that team. If they end up losing to Carmel tonight, they're not going to make it. Trey Taylor has an elite opportunity to put the dagger into the soul of one of the best football schools in all of Illinois. It'll be incredible.
You send me a link, I might watch that.
It'll
baseball,
be
football.
When you talk about Trey Taylor being the best quarterback prospect that Matt Rule has gotten, and he could potentially be one of the top 5 stars quarterbacks in the country. This is the game for him that he proves that, because he's going against a team that Loyola Academy doesn't lose unless your name is Brother Rice. Unless you're Brother Rice or East St. Louis,
those carbs,
Loyola Academy doesn't lose.
Man,
so if they lost to Carmel, that'd be insane.
Back in the day, East St. Louis, however they got players or not, man, they were a juggernaut. Nebraska used to recruit East St. Louis quite a bit. Lorenzo Brinkley.
Okay.
I want to say Luther Harden was from East St. Louis.
Man, East St. Louis, the myth, not the myth, but like the folktale is that they don't call plays. That like they will literally get.
Now
up.
they're not very good anymore.
No,
right?
not anymore. But like they were good when I was still in high school. Like
cheap to be good. That's the lesson of the day in Illinois high school.
What
football.
did SMU teach?
They got hammered big time in 2019 because they had a guy who should not have been playing, and they put him in a freshman jersey. And then they were like, "Why does your freshman look exactly like the dude who isn't allowed to play?"
Texas did something like that.
Why
for
is
the
that
95
freshman
Sugar Bowl.
6'1", 225 pounds with a tattoo? What are we doing here? So they got.
I hear they just flew him in for games.
that. But they would literally go to the line, and the wide receivers would be like, "All right, they would tell their quarterback, I'm gonna run a post," and then they would tell, "Hey, I'm gonna run a curl," and they would literally say it out loud in front of the corners, and the corners couldn't do anything about it, and they still would beat everybody.
That's like the 95 Huskers. We're gonna run option left side. You're not gonna do anything.
No.
Let me ask you. You're your stat guy of the show.
Thank you.
So all of the stats, the wacky stats that you had yesterday, the stats that are in this game. By the way, Minnesota is like one of the worst against the spread in terms of aggregate teams out there. Now, Nebraska's not been great against
2
the
and
spread.
4.
Where does this stat rank? Of all the wacky stats that are out there that you've got access to, the fact that Nebraska, you know how many times Nebraska has punted in the 6 games this year? Remember when Archie Wilson didn't punt in a game?
They've punted 13
2-time
times.
All Big Ten punter.
So they've punted 13 times in 6 games.
That's a pretty wacky.
It I don't know if Archie will let her. His family may be like, when you were doing other sports, we got to watch you all the time. They don't even let you play.
I know.
So,
nice.
just think about that. No, think about this. And like being serious, Nebraska's punted the ball 13 times in 6 games. There were times over the last decade plus where Nebraska, if the game went a little bit longer, could have punted 13 times in a game.
Mm-hmm.
But the other wacky stat, but not really a wacky stat, it's like, hey, promote that stat. So they don't punt very often.
No.
But when they do, what happens?
Well, 11 times they pin him inside the 10-yard line.
What
or
is
the
it?
20-yard line.
What is it? 1 punt return for minus
Oh,
1
yes.
yards?
Yeah, they don't let him return it.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I mean, the differential between their punt return yards to kick return yards has to lead the country. And secondly, the improvement has to be the largest improvement from year to year in terms of what they've done.
Well, they for the longest time. This was remember when you weren't here, but Jimmy might remember this. Sean Snyder, Bill Snyder's kid.
Yeah.
Nebraska was looking for a special teams coach under Frost, and so they would use K-State's FPI for what their special teams were doing, and it was like a 70 spot difference. I did not look after Maryland, and that includes the 85-yard kickoff return by Kenneth Williams. But where is Nebraska in the ESPN special teams rankings? They might now be inside of the top 15. You know, they give Severe gives out the Jet Award to an individual. I think they'll give it out to Mike Eckler.
They should have him present it.
Well, he said last April when he just got in town, he's still living out of a suitcase. He went up and talked about special teams, and he said, "I told Coach Rule that we'll have a guy here next year." Now, could be Ja'Cory Barney, who I will still sit on. Maybe tonight is the night that he houses one.
Yeah, you didn't specifically say
that last punt last Saturday. It was close.
It was.
Now he only got to the 18-yard line, but he had one more really guy to beat, and I think he was gone. Maybe tonight is the night because Minnesota looks very odd to me. They have kicking and blocking issues, which is not Minnesota like. It's weird to watch Minnesota because they don't have an established running game. They're still trying to figure things up front on the offensive line. And they have this old school quarterback that has a big boy arm that likes to chuck it all over the place. And then they have some drops. They're a different team to watch compared to past Minnesota, but their kicking and blocking is not on par. So here we go again.
Sure.
Another discussion about how do you win games like this on the road for the second time in 6 days? What are your special teams going to do?
So
have you looked up the?
Yes, I have it.
Are they in the top 15 now?
They are 10th.
Okay.
They are straight up just 10th.
Jesus, Ed Foley.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, and also too, this is why I was so impressed with Tony White with the job that he did. When Tony White succeeded, he did it with a lot of the same parts that was on the team previous.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, the punter and kicker are different, but like in the return game, Mike Eckler is doing everything with the same exact parts that were on the team last season, and they've become a really good special teams unit. All right. So your wacky stat, let me relate it to another wacky stat.
All
okay.
right. Give me your wacky stat.
Because we talked
about
that
was not used yesterday during the wacky stat segment.
Well, we talked about available yards yesterday, right? And how this is this is legitimate. The available the yards that you are given to gain, right? So Nebraska is starting on their own 33-yard line. Okay, that's fourth best in the country. They're averaging a start on their own 33. Their available yards that they're getting is 58.3%. That's 24th in the country. So if you combine those two things together, right? The amount of yards multiplied, the amount of so you get 67 yards, you multiply that by 58%. That's the amount of yards on average they're gaining. Where does that put them on the field? Well, that means that they're typically getting to the 17 to 18-yard line on average on a lot of their drives, which means that when you get to the 17 and 18-yard line, what are you doing? You're not punting. No. You're kicking field goals, right?
Great point.
Or you're going for it on fourth down. So when you kind of mix in the great starting field position with the fact that they're incredibly efficient on offense, they don't need to punt. Now, are they scoring a ton of touchdowns? Are they having 45 points per game? No, because that's the red zone offense has not been that efficient. But they are getting a lot of points and they don't have to punt the ball a ton because of all of those other factors that combined. So that's kind of the process as to why they haven't had to punt the ball.
It's so wild how when this game kicks off tonight, and it's one of the first times in a while Nebraska will go to the Twin Cities with a more talented roster, but how Nebraska looks closer to what we think Minnesota should look like under Fleck. This year, Minnesota is very un-Fleck-like. They do some things that they haven't done in the past. And again, they're making the transition to kind of the offense they want to run with Lindsey at quarterback. But just the simple things, like they have not resolved the issues through 6 games of kicking and blocking. And that's one of the, I always say you got to win in the margins.
Yeah.
Minnesota's done a really good job under Fleck. Now, the 19 team, they had a lot of talent. They had NFL guys. And they have an NFL guy in Anthony Smith. I mean, he might be one of the best players that'll play in the game tonight. Defensive end. He's a top 50 NFL guy. But they've won in the margins. Now it's Nebraska that's finding a way to win in the margins. And Minnesota is still searching halfway through the season. They're very unlike PJ Fleck.
Where do you think that Minnesota ranks in special teams efficiency?
Well, I know their kicking game. Their punter is a good punter.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the other part of the kicking game. I bet they are in the 60s, 70s.
They're 45.
Okay.
But that's still like for them, like you're kind of in the middling half of where you would be in terms of power four teams. Like that is, and also too, I don't think I've said this because we've just kind of said the run game isn't what it used to be. This is incredible to me. Their expected points added per rush is negative 0.15. That's 125th in the country. Okay. In the PJ Fleck era, I don't think anybody would ever think that Minnesota's run game from an efficiency standpoint would be one of the worst in the nation.
So what happens tonight? Minnesota is 112th in the country in rush offense. Nebraska is 99th in rush defense.
Yeah.
So what happens tonight? Who wins? Minnesota running the ball or Nebraska stopping the run?
This is where your our conversation
throw
about
the
gut,
ball, throw the ball, throw the ball.
One, two, three, throw that MFR away.
This might be a 3-hour and 45-minute game. There might be a lot of balls thrown tonight.
This is where your gut and hesitancy that we've talked about comes into play, because in theory, right?
Yes.
In theory.
I like where you're going here.
It should be, they're going to throw a ball a ton and they're going to pin their ears back, and Nebraska is going to have a fun time on the defensive end and the secondary. But the gut just tells me that D. Taylor is somehow going to have a bionicle knee and just absolutely explode. And they're going to go back to running the ball a ton with the guy who had nearly 1,000 yards last year and 1,000 yards the year before. That's what my gut tells me. Because this is back to, I know you said it, they're not 24, 23, or 22, or 21.
You got to do it all. 2019,
18, 17, 16, 15. They're not any of those, but I'm still scarred. I still think about it.
There's another part of this whole Minnesota running the football and their inability to run the football when they want to run the football. Is this the night that John Butler says, F it, everybody's blitzing? We're gonna light up a redshirt freshman quarterback, and we're gonna bring the house. And you know what? If you buy a ticket to the game tonight and you're wearing Nebraska gear, there might be a chance that you blitz the quarterback tonight.
It might be. He's
foreshadowing.
I think they will. I think they will go. I think the first quarter is big in this game. Minnesota doesn't put up a ton of points in the first half. They haven't gotten buried in their comebacks.
Okay.
Nebraska has been really good in the first quarter. I think Nebraska is really good in the first quarter. They got control of the game. Minnesota won't be able to run the ball and shorten the game and control the clock. But does Nebraska say, welcome to the Emmett Show? They feature him early.
Yeah.
And then they say, you know what? Let's throw the knockout punch. Let's don't dingle and dangle until the 10th round. Let's try and throw body blows in the first, second, and third round. And then we can be like, you know what? We got a nice lead. Let's prove to people we can play with a double-figure lead. We're going to light up the quarterback. We're gonna let 21 smoke a cigar in his hometown. And here we go. I think the first quarter is pretty important because it dictates, I think, how Minnesota will play the game. Because I think if Minnesota gets a lead, then they're like, ooh, can we sit on the football?
Sure.
And can we limit possessions for Nebraska?
Yeah.
But they only average.
That's interesting.
They only average 9.4 points per first half.
Okay. I liked in McAfee yesterday that Rule kind of acknowledged, hey, we are a team that has given up double-digit leads, and Minnesota is a team that has had double-digit deficits and come back and won those games. And that's something that we have to fight against. I just think, though, to your point, maybe the Nebraska of old would get down in the first quarter and another team could sit on the ball and they wouldn't be able to get it back and they'd let them control. There's just something about this team in the last couple of weeks and the plays that they've made that even if Minnesota does try and sit on the football, when Nebraska gets it back, I still do trust them to make a play and to gain back momentum and be like, no, you can't. I think Nebraska might be evolving into a team that isn't going to allow other teams play their game so easily. Because in the past, you're right.
All right, Brett Ciancia and Lee Sterling coming up in the hour with thoughts on college and the NFL. The revenge game, Mike Vrabel or Carson Wentz this weekend. By the way, if you are going, thank you, Jimmy, little kiss here, the morning after Ace Frehley passes away. If you're going to the Vikings-Eagles game, it is Carson Wentz at quarterback.
Okay. By the way, real quick, Carson Wentz, he wasn't like they didn't detour him. He was just bad. He was just bad at quarterback, and he couldn't play there anymore, and Jalen Hurts was better.
You remember, Carson Wentz was on a team that won a Super Bowl in that building.
That's a good point.
Maybe he wants revenge against the Eagles.
Or
it wasn't the Eagles that hurt his knee.
It was the Rams.
All right. Brett's coming up bottom of the hour. He's got lots of thoughts on a weekend of college football, another playoff elimination weekend. And we'll talk about the Holy War, where nuclear reactors are blowing up things have been mentioned. It is a hell of a rivalry, a neighborhood rivalry, just like Prep and West Side tonight.
Yeah.
Everything's local, live and local on 1620 The Zone. All right, Brett Cianci is coming up here in a little bit. Let's talk to Random Mike on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone Hotline. Good morning, Mike.
Guys, have you seen Cole Payton play at all this year?
Yes, I was had a long discussion yesterday about him. He is balling out for North Dakota State. Next Saturday night, North Dakota State and South Dakota State play, Mike.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you doing the West Side game tonight?
I am not. I am doing the Nebraska-Minnesota game.
I'm not doing the West Side game tonight, Mike. Thanks for asking.
Okay. The Cole Payton is so much fun to watch. And let me tell you something, he's being taken seriously by the NFL.
Yeah, he waited his turn behind Miller up there. And, they're number one at FCS. And what he is doing, we saw at West Side. I mean, there's a reason why at the last moment, Frost was trying to get in touch with him to say, hey, we're interested in you. And he's like, I'm interested in North Dakota State. I've already committed. It's the morning after we won the state title in 2020. Coach, I'm good. I mean, good on Cole for sticking around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cam Miller, the guy that really kind of kept him on the bench, fantastic. He said he was the best teammate he's ever had at any level. He keeps his commitment. He's a man of character.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, he is fast. He's big.
Yep.
And he's making. And the question was how good a thrower is. He has worked on his throw, and the coaches at North Dakota State have developed NFL quarterbacks, and they've developed him. And he gives credit to people that help him, including his coaches. I'm telling you, he's fun to watch. But hey, the catch by Key, the Key kick,
one-handed catch, the touchdown in the fourth quarter.
Let me tell you something. That was not an easy ball to catch.
No, it was not.
That was, and if he doesn't catch it, the game maybe has a different result. Would you agree? These two transfer receivers have been big time.
Yeah, I think that another part of the bigger picture, Nebraska's done a good job in the portal in the offseason. They spent some money, and for the most part, the money they spent has turned out to be good. But that room is a lot better. It's deeper. And they fight over who is wide receiver one. I think Hunter is wide receiver one, but they're making plays when they need to make plays. And also the biggest thing to me about the wide receivers is drops. They're not dropping the football like they have the previous 2 years.
Yeah. And let me tell you some big time blocking at the end of that game. Were you watching Rocco and Elijah made some, big screen plays.
Justin Evans, Gatula, even Lutovsky.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They got downfield. It was one of the rare games this year, and I think Matt and I talked about it, is you saw the linemen get to the second level on a continual basis.
Exactly. And this is a time where our lines have to take over. And I mentioned Rocco as a leader, and he made some sensational blocks too. And that's where it's going to be decided, don't you think? I mean, the lines have to take over.
Yeah, they have to keep Dylan upright. They have to be able to get yards when they need to get yards. And I think the other side is, Nebraska can't get mowed under on the defensive line. They're able to at least create a stalemate and then have the ends do work. But yeah, it's Big Ten football. When you get to November, the line of scrimmage, that's where things are going to be won. And then you throw in the other elements of some nice skill position players and a lockdown, back end on defense.
Yeah.
And I'm with you guys. I think early on, we're going to hit the quarterback. In fact, our defensive coordinator was very blunt. He wants hits on the quarterback. And this is a guy I think we can do it to. And, hit him early. That can change everything.
That's a great point, Mike. He did. It was interesting when Butler, I did pick up on that as well, when he was like, screw the hurries. You don't really know if a guy's getting hurt or not. We want to hit the guy.
Exactly, Matt. And he was pretty blunt about it. And let me tell you something. That Michigan loss, the way they played, their physicality was probably the best thing that could happen to us because we realized what we got to do.
Yes. Mike, thanks for the phone call. Enjoy the game tonight. Do you think John Butler in the locker room? Yeah. Notice of somebody passed away. Sorry. Not locally. Do you think John Butler in the locker room channels his Al Davis tonight? The quarterback must go down, and he must go down hard.
Probably. I think so. That's
I would light up Lindsey like a Christmas tree tonight and say, "Hey, big boy, if you're going to beat us, beat us." What's your accuracy look like when you got people in your face? But we're looking back at Maryland when they had a chance to put pressure on.
Yeah.
I mean, pressure and tackling have to go better. At the end of the day, all three levels in Nebraska's defense tonight, they have to tackle well, because I think Taylor's my most important player in this game, because now he's healthy, and he was healthy for the first time, and they gave him the go-ahead. 20 touches, 99 yards. You know that's going to go up more tonight.
The point of you're bringing up lighting Lindsey up like a Christmas tree, right? He's throwing the ball 62% of the time. Okay. Like, dadgum better, dadgum better hit him. Dadgum better get to him.
The dadgum. Nice
Yeah.
job.
I mean,
Coach.
like what do you mean? Like,
get him, coach.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you throw the ball over 60% of the time, you better knock the quarterback's ass to the ground. Like, that's ridiculous. And on top of that, too, you have to get yourself in obvious pass situations, which means that they have to do a good job on first and second down tonight. Like, especially first down. If Darius Taylor starts carrying the ball 4 yards on first down, it's going to be a very long night for this football team. So he's my most important player too, because I wrote down here, because he's coming. You know that he's gotten healthier, and that's scary.
Brett Ciancia from Pick Six Previews coming up. Lee Sterling as well. Brett, of course, living in Philadelphia. He's around a bunch of Penn State fans, so we will not ask him about Penn State.
Yes, we will.
Okay, we will. And also Kurt Signetti. What a meteoric rise. He is a unicorn. You can't compare your program to what Indiana's doing, because Signetti is not built like everybody else. And he's also got 8 years, $93 million.
Jeez.
The buyout, though, is awful low. No, he's going to retire a Hoosier. He's 64 years old, and they've broken the ceiling. Hell of a job in year 2 at a basketball school. Brett joins us next on 1620 The Zone. All right, another great slate of college football. We are in the throes of day after day after day after football as we begin with our Friday friend, Brett Ciancia from Pick Six Previews. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on here on a Husker game day.
Hey.
Cool to be talking here, Friday night game. And excited to break it down with you guys.
Hey, how about that? You know I have to ask you because you live in Philadelphia. You got a lot of Penn State people that are around you. Couple of quick things here. Your reaction to Penn State doing what they did on Sunday, and then what has happened the week in the Penn State fan base on who they like, who they don't like, and how maybe it involves Matt Rule.
Yeah, well, there's a lot to this situation. I think that coming into the season, this was their all-in season with James Franklin. It's his 12th year. They gave him all the resources, the coordinators, the transfers, the player retention from the pros. So this was the all-in year. So if you told me that he'd be fired after the season for missing the playoff, going 9-3, 8-4, I could see it. I think what shocked everybody was just the timing that they did it mid-October. I think this is a guy that's done so much for Penn State. I think you let him finish out the season, give him a last hurrah at Beaver Stadium in November, and then do your search. I don't know what they gained from this in terms of timing. All the best candidates are still coaching, so the timing shocked me. The result, I guess, didn't. It was really all in or bust for them. In terms of candidates, everyone around here wants Signetti. That's the common answer that we heard, and then of course yesterday he just got extended to $100 million or something. So that's out now. But until that news, it was Signetti number one. People were talking about Matt Rule because of his Penn State alumni and Pennsylvania ties, and what he did here locally at Temple was impressive. Those were the two names. So I guess you throw Signetti out and you got Rule left.
Okay, but give me, who do you think is the best coach for Penn State?
Well, I'm not so sure that it's Matt Rule. I think that there are other guys out there. Manny Diaz caught my eye. Looking at people that were that had experience at Penn State. Manny Diaz was there a couple years ago. He turned Duke into a pretty solid team. Who else is on that board? I saw Joe Brady, a former analyst at Penn State, who then became an analyst with Joe Burrow's LSU national title team. He's been in the pros since. I don't know. You can go a lot of different ways. If they go coordinator, then you can move faster. I mean, maybe look at Will Stein from Oregon. I don't know. This thing's wide open. I think the people were so focused on Signetti that I haven't even gotten into the second round of candidates here.
All right, let's go to the games this week. And it's a weird slate, in my opinion, because you have one conference that has a lot of really, really good games. Then you have another conference that's got some competitive but not marquee matchups. And then you have the USC Notre Dame game, which will be an absolute banger with a couple decent Big 12 games coupled in there. Let's go to the big one, though. Ty Simpson is my Heisman Trophy guy right now. Your opinion on his performance so far, Brett, and your outlook on this incredible rivalry between Tennessee and Alabama.
Yeah, you're right about that. He's played perfect football. I mean, ever since that Florida State game, you could argue he's number one in the country. I mean, 16 touchdowns, 1 pick. He just, when you watch him play, he just makes the correct decision every time. Whether it's the scramble, whether it's the throw the ball away, whether it's to force a tight throw in a tight window, he makes the throws, does the right decision. So I like him. You look at a team like Bama coming off 3 straight ranked wins. They had the big game against Georgia, the revenge win over Vandy, and then last week going into Missouri. So is there any gas left in the tank? I think there is, because you're never going to overlook a Tennessee, a rival like that. The cigar game, third Saturday in October. So I think you're going to see Alabama's best game, and they're going to win it here by more than that touchdown. I think Alabama's the better team both sides of the ball.
Between the hedges, prime in the afternoon light, Ole Miss and Georgia. We're still waiting for Georgia to look like Georgia. They escaped with that win at Auburn, got some help, controversial call. They were down 10-0. Now they get Ole Miss, who I think they were probably looking ahead against Wazoo, and they needed, they held them to a last-minute drive to tie or win the game. They kept them off the board. Might be a red flag. Georgia hasn't looked like the juggernaut of recent years. Weird game, but a huge game for the playoff. What do you think happens? Lane Kiffin beats Georgia again, or Kirby gets right at home?
Yeah, well, the Ole Miss game against Washington State, they dodged a 33-point favorite upset. That would have been one of the biggest in recent memory. And Yeah, they survived, and I'm still going to put that on the negative side here because it wasn't just a fluke. That's been what they've done all season. I mean, all three of their SEC wins were by one score, and those were not elite teams. I mean, it was Arkansas and Kentucky. They really couldn't stop either of them. LSU was a great win for them, but even that was close. So I'm not so still on Ole Miss. I think if you look at the undefeateds, I have them towards the bottom of the undefeated list. So with Georgia, you're right. They're not the juggernaut of old. They're not the dynasty Kirby Smart teams. But what they do is they find ways to win, and that they found ways to beat Auburn last week, while Auburn found ways to lose. So they dominated ball control too in the second half, 23 minutes to 7 in the second half for Georgia, and Gunnar Stockton made every play. So I trust Georgia more right now. I'll go Georgia here at home, and to end Lane Kiffin's undefeated season.
It's one of the best and longest running rivalries in all of college football. USC takes on Notre Dame as the Trojans, after a massive win against Michigan, will go all the way to South Bend, West Coast to East Coast. I know that will play a factor. The last time these two teams played in South Bend, Indiana, Caleb Williams threw 3 interceptions and Audric Escamé led Notre Dame to a 48-20 victory. Do the Irish get it done again and kind of stave off this pseudo playoff elimination game?
Yeah, I like how you word that. It really is almost a playoff game itself
when
you look at it, because USC, after the win over Michigan, might have moved up into that 4th spot in the Big Ten. And, if the conference is going to get 4 teams, it's probably the SEC and the Big Ten. So Notre Dame there with 2 losses, this is definitely an elimination if they lose. So a couple things here. Notre Dame, after their 0-2 start, I think they were put on the back burner, and people stopped looking at them. But if you haven't paid attention, this is a really strong team since then. Top 5 in my numbers, offense and defense. CJ Carr, top 5 in the country in QB rating. He's really grown up quick as a freshman, first-time starter. Big O line, NFL defense. They have everything. They're playing great football. So they're the most complete team right now. USC's got it on offense. I think they're a top 5 offense, but the defense really stands out as a weakness. And they did well against Michigan, but I need to see them again before they earn back more trust. So I'll go USC at home. We'll see if they wear those old greens for this rivalry. But, it's a playoff elimination. I'll go with Notre Dame.
Hey, so USC ran the ball against Michigan. They look more like Michigan. Now Michigan comes home. This is a sneaky game, but it is a West Coast team traveling across the country with long travel, and we've seen Michigan go into USC. Washington was down 20-0 in Maryland. We like Washington. I think this is a barometer game, Brett, because if you lose, if you're Michigan, people go, whoa, Sharon Moore. It's also, ironically, 2 years ago, these two teams were playing for the national championship. Washington have a chance in the big house tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely a chance, and I think the wrong team's favorite. I'm going Washington outright here. I really love this offense. They're my number one in my numbers, but just by watching them, you put the stats aside, just by watching Washington's offense, oh my gosh. Jamal Williams, he put up a 400-yard passing, 100-yard rushing game, just the 16th time ever in college football history. He looks like Kyler Murray, the way he's running the ball and scrambling around. It's incredible to watch. So I think they're going to get their points and they're going to get their yards on Michigan. And, Michigan's offense has not impressed me recently. I thought they were starting to take a step forward with Adam Nicole at receiver, but USC shut them down. And like I said, USC is not really a top defense. So I think the wrong team's favored. This Michigan team doesn't get as motivated for Sharon Moore. I think they should just bring Biff back in there. That was their 2 best games with the Biff as quarterback, as a head coach. So I'll go Washington here in the big house.
What if I told you before Clark Lee took over that eventually Vanderbilt would be a 2.5-point favorite against LSU?
I would not have believed you. I would have said that's crazy. And I would not have believed that they would have beaten Alabama either. So, there's no guy that likes the spotlight more than Diego Pavia, and he backs it up. I think something like 10-2 as the underdog against the spread. A lot of those are straight-up victories, too. So he's really impressive. And it's not just him. They have a great tight end, Eli Stowers. Some receivers are emerging. The defense is solid, too. LSU, I thought they'd come out a lot cleaner out of their bye week. Of course, they were banged up. Darren Nussmeier had some injuries lingering. They got into the bye week. I thought they'd come out cleaner, and they struggled again to run the ball. Goal line struggles. They threw a pick. They fumbled right there. It would have been a blowout, but they kept it close because of that. So, this sounds crazy to say on a Football Friday. Give me Vanderbilt over the LSU.
We like ourselves from Clark Lee. Let's see if they like him at Penn State. Let's talk about the holy.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, let's talk about the holy war. These are people that live in the same neighborhood. They're in the same conference. There are implications on the line. Probably playing for the second best team in the Big 12 behind Texas Tech. 6-0 is 6-0. BYU style points, whatever. I really like that this rivalry is getting the attention it deserves. It's primetime on Fox. Can Utah upset BYU in Provo?
I agree with you. I'm glad to see it get the attention. I do some writing out there in Salt Lake City and Provo for both these teams, and you can just tell the passion for both programs. And then, of course, the rivalry is incredible. But I think this could be the biggest holy war of all time, and I don't say that as a hot take. I mean, they're now both in the Power Four for the first time ever, both in a conference title race within the Power Four, and then both ranked. Ranked versus ranked hasn't happened here since 2009. And that was back in the Mountain West. So I think it's huge. I think the winner probably goes to the Big 12 title game. And I'm going to go with Utah here. I mean, just from watching all 6 of their games, each of them, BYU, I like how resilient they are. They do grind out close games. Barrett Bachmeier is reminding me of Colin Klein, some of Kansas State throwback here, the way he shoulders so many carries in the game and gets the job done. But Utah's margins are bigger than me. The margins of victories, the blowouts, their offensive line just mauling people. Devin Dampier looks like a Heisman candidate. So I'll go Utah here. Despite being on the road, I like them to win outright.
Okay, I'll ask you the game that everybody's talking about, the game everybody's excited about over here. The Northwestern Wildcats, after a massive victory against Penn State. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Nebraska takes on Minnesota tonight. They're a 7.5-point favorite. They're going to Minnesota, and I'm sure you know these stats. They haven't, they're 0-6 or 0-5 in the last 5 times they played Minnesota. PJ Fleck 6-1 against Nebraska. They haven't beaten Minnesota in almost 10 years at Minnesota. It's been a long time coming here. Do the Huskers finally slay the Minnesota Demon tonight, in your opinion, Brett Ciancia?
I think so. And I think PJ Fleck, he's got to come up with some more expressions and acronyms to get this one down. I mean, it's a mismatch. I think Nebraska's the better team. I really like the way this pass game is developing with Dylan Raiola quarterback and focusing on the plays. And, they've had that one coach, that Frost advisory for so long. We've talked about it. It's been because of turnovers, because of special teams, and just fourth quarter collapses. It seems like the last couple of games they've just flipped the script. I was really impressed with how they came back after throwing a pick six. I think against Maryland, in past years they would have folded. But Raiola made 3 really unconventional, just off-balance throws. They all hit. I was really impressed. So, and the special teams, they're one of the best special teams in the country. What a flip that has been. So, anyways, love the pass game. I love the defense. They're locking people down. That was the top of our numbers in a lot of categories. Minnesota, I don't see any really strength on this team, I'll be honest with you. So, they do have home field advantage, but I think Nebraska goes in and wins it, ends all the streaks, gets to 6-1. So that's the official pick here. I think they're going to win.
Great stuff. Brett, have a great football weekend as always, my friend.
You're the man, Brett.
All right. Yeah, same to you guys. Enjoy.
We love this on a Football Friday Fiesta. We go from Brett Ciancia, Pick Six Previews, to our guy from Paramount Sports, Lee Sterling. He made a meeting with the Dolphins, so Tua was not talking about him. He joins us now. Good morning, Lee.
Good morning. It's always a good morning when the Canes are playing, not such a good morning when the Dolphins are playing.
We'll get to that's actually your game of the week. We'll get to that a little bit later, but let's get right into it.
Yep.
It's hard to believe 2 years ago these two teams played for a national championship.
Yeah.
Now they look completely different. One head coach is in the NFL. The other is going against Josh Heupel in Tuscaloosa tomorrow. Michigan, this is a big game for them, especially off the loss to USC. DeMond Williams is a must-watch. Michigan, Washington, let's start there.
Yeah, he is. And don't forget the running back, Jonah Coleman. I think he'll go in the top couple rounds. And I think their lead receiver, Denzel Boston, will go in the first round. So this is a talented team under the radar. No one talks about them because they're not in the top 25, but they probably should be. They were right there with Ohio State in the first half. Probably should have led, except for a couple ill-fated decisions going for the fake field goal. But I think this is a game they've been peaking for and they're ready for. I think we now see some chinks in this Michigan defense here. Teams are figuring out how to attack them. Huskies finished with 579 total yards last week on 9.8 yards per play against Rutgers here. And I know this west to east coast thing has been a problem for them, but I think this is the game where everything straightens out here and they get the job done. Wrong team favored. Huskies straight up 28-25.
It seems like the sun is getting real low in Madison, Wisconsin, Lee, as Luke Fickell and the Badgers are on some hard times. And to make things even worse, the best team of the country makes their way to Camp Randall. Ohio State's a 25.5-point favorite against Wisco.
Yeah, I don't know how you pull out of this. I mean, you're playing with a third-string quarterback now. Play calling is, once they fall behind, it's like they're just trying to run out the clock to get off the field. They're not trying to push the ball down the field at all. And now they're playing a team here, probably the best team in the country. And talent-wise, they have receivers that can go the distance on any play here. So I don't think Ohio State's going to have any mercy on them here. Sometimes you got to lay it if you want to play it. Ohio State 45-3.
This is an interesting game, and it's become interesting because of what happened in State College with the firing of James Franklin. Terry Smith is beloved at Penn State. We don't know what kind of a bump Penn State's going to get. We do know they're going to have a brand new quarterback with the season-ending injury to Aller. Iowa has played better. They look like a disciplined team. They blew out Wisconsin. It's a night game at Kinnick. You have to get on Peacock to watch it. This line hasn't changed much since Franklin got fired. This seems tricky to me. Iowa, Penn State tomorrow night in Iowa City.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see a good portion of the betting public maybe taking the points here. That whole, angle that the fired coach, the team plays for you, and they do love Terry Smith, but Ethan Grunkmeyer, I just don't think he's good enough. He's really a third-string quarterback. So with Bo Probilla transferring, he was elevated, and I just don't think he's a good enough passer or runner to be able to put much of a dent against Iowa. We've seen first-time quarterbacks in the first couple starts really struggle against this Iowa defense, and don't forget about special teams. If Iowa gets the lead here, they get up 7 or 10-0. I think the game's as good as over here. I think the right team is favored. Iowa 24-17.
Just like you said earlier, and now my new favorite saying, sometimes you lay it if you want to play it. Are you laying the 27 points as Indiana takes on Michigan State?
Absolutely. I mean, this is one of the best coaches in college football. They're 6-2 against the spread. The last 8 is a double-digit favorite. How Jonathan Smith was able to sell the coach, the whole athletic department on Aiden Childs being the guy that turns his team around, I don't get it. He throws interceptions galore, and he didn't even finish the last 2 games. He's been injured. I mean, even if he plays here, he'll turn the ball over against this defense. And how do you guard Surratt? He's almost unguardable. So, like last night watching Jamar Chase, Indiana big here, 43-15.
All right, let's. It is a game day here in Omaha with Nebraska playing at Minnesota. This line went from 4.5 to 9.5. It has come back down. There's history about Nebraska struggling in the Twin Cities. This isn't your usual PJ Fleck team. It also is not your usual Nebraska team. Nebraska, for the second straight game, Lee, on the road, they're a favorite, trying to win their first time back-to-back road games since 2006. 2 road games, 6 days. What happens tonight between Nebraska and Minnesota?
Yeah, there is levels here, and what we found out watching them play Ohio State, they just can't compete with the best of the best. So we do know that, but we do know at home they are a tougher out. I mean, as a home dog, last year they beat USC as a 9.5-point underdog. They only lost by 1 last year as a double-digit dog to Penn State. And let's look at Nebraska, 2-5 against the spread as a favorite on the road in neutral site games. In fact, the last 13 games away from Lincoln, only twice have they won by more than 7 points here. I don't think Drake Lindsey, the quarterback for Minnesota, is great, but he did lead them in their comeback win against Purdue last week. And their 2 losses, as I said, are on the road. Nebraska's gotten off to some pretty quick starts. I think you want to save, as a offensive coordinator, you want to save some good plays also for the second and third quarter. What we're seeing is a lot of these coordinators, they have that sheet, and they've got 15, 20 plays they like a lot, but by the end of the first quarter, they've gone through those plays, and then they're either recycling plays or going to some different plays. Save some of your better plays, maybe change tempo. You got to pull away if you want to win big. I just think Minnesota at home, they're going to be able to keep it close. Nebraska wins 31-27, but the Gophers cover.
Lee, you've been killing it for us this season. Your last 3 times you've been on, you've had a 66% hit rate, which I think any handicapper would know that's pretty damn good. Your game of the week is a really good, a sneaky matchup on the slate and a really good game. Miami, your Canes take on the Louisville Cardinals.
Nice.
How can our listeners get your pick?
Just be one of the first 10 callers. Call 800-400-9741. We will give you the game for free. 800-400-9741. First 10 callers. The game is on me. And how about this? 4 weeks ago in the NFL, put out 5 games and went 5-0. Felt great about it. 3 weeks ago, did it again, 5-0. 2 weeks ago, we went 5-0 for a third straight week until I let everyone down last Sunday. On the 5 games, we went 4-1. We're only 19-1 the last 20 games. So we have what's called Lee's NFL Sunday Golden Ticket. It's 4 weeks of NFL games every Sunday. 5 games are ready to go right now. How about this? Just $197. So go to ParamountSports.com. You want to try us out? Lee's NFL Sunday Golden Ticket. Just $197 for 4 weeks of selections on Sunday. Just one place, ParamountSports.com.
Hey, thanks, Lee. Have a great weekend.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, 19-1 his last 20. Quick thought on the NFL. If the Colts win in Los Angeles against the Chargers, do they become the best team in the league?
Yes.
Okay, isn't that wild?
Yeah. Now, at least
Indiana is a football school, and the Colts might be the best team in 2025.
If the Bucks beat the Lions, then we'll have to have a conversation. But yeah, I've been 3 weeks out. Colts are for real. Let's just
Colts
real.
Bucks Super
They are
Bowl.
real. They are so real.
I think the game of the weekend is the Monday night game between Tampa Bay and Detroit. Playoff rematch. Get to watch Baker.
MVP.
And the Detroit Lions continue to bitch about Sunday night at Arrowhead.
I know. Now you know how it feels, huh?
Halftime upon us. Yesterday was a great day in college football. We'll tell you why. Plus, we'll get deeper into Nebraska and Minnesota as we all channel our inner Carl Spackler on 1620 The Zone. All right, tonight after the game, Big Red Overreaction right here on the Zone. Josh and Matt will have you. And don't forget, you take a day off on Saturday. Boy, if you win on Thursday or Friday night in the NFL or in college football and you don't play on the weekend, man, if you win, it's great. Just sit back, relax. It's all great. That bagel tastes a little bit better. You're happier in the grocery store. You might go to church. But, man, if you lose on a Thursday or Friday, it ruins your weekend.
It does.
So don't forget, even though it is a Friday night game, Michael Severe will have Severe Reaction on Sunday as well. All right here on the home of the Huskers, 1620 The Zone. Only difference is you can't hear the games on 1620 The Zone.
I have
It's like baseball. You can't hear baseball in Omaha anyway.
I don't like it when my team plays on those days, and even when they win, I don't.
Why?
Like even when they win on a Friday, I still like to have the Huskers on Saturday. Like I feel a little bit left out. Like everybody else is playing all these great games and all these things are happening.
But
and
you
the
won.
excitement.
You can just sit back with your cigar.
know, but
and-
like I want the stress. Like that's the thing. Same thing when the Bears don't play on Sundays. Like I want that little bit of stress
That'll
on
change when he
Sundays
gets
that
older.
everybody else is going through.
I'm okay with having no stress. I'm like no stress guy. I don't want stress.
Everyone needs a little bit of stress.
No, we don't need any
No.
stress.
You got enough stress
But
means
you know what
progress,
we
Stress
should
means
get used
stakes.
to? I think this will be a yearly thing that Nebraska plays on a Friday. Now,
Yeah.
Nebraska has committed to one more home game between now and I think Dannon said 2032. So Nebraska, because actually the Friday home game last year went over really well.
It was dope.
That was really good.
Fun was had.
Because there was all the doom scrollers are like, this is going to ruin Nebraska football. So they only have to play one more home game, but I think they will become a Friday night road staple. It's just
Ratings,
how
baby.
That's just how it is. Yeah, I think
That's what it is.
Big,
People
big
watch.
Fox
That's
tonight.
yeah.
People will
pop
will
one.
watch. They got a competition is baseball.
NLCS, that's over.
Louisville, Miami starting an hour earlier.
Every time that I like that Nebraska ends up playing on a Friday like this, or they're a standalone game, I always get texts from people that I haven't heard from in a while.
Like
Be
Aunt Nora?
No,
Hi, Aunt Nora.
What's up, Aunt Nora? How you doing, hon?
You got pictures.
No, like my buddy Graham. I love him. Like we're friends. We're not like best friends or anything
Yeah.
like that. Anytime the Huskers on a standalone game, he texts me. He goes, "Hey, how are they looking this year?" And then we start texting.
Okay, that's
you
kind of
know,
cool.
like that's
Yeah.
it's nice. Like
That's when I reconnect with friends too. Football season. It
what,
brings
like,
us together.
That's what Nebraska does. Like when you have a Nebraska standalone game and people are watching them, like they like the Nebraska football team, like it piques your curiosity of like, how are my Nebraska football friends doing? You're like, oh, I haven't talked to Matt in 2 months. Hey, dude, how are you? How's the job going?
That's what's so great
How's
about the
Omaha?
sport. It brings us together.
It does, and then it rips us apart.
Yeah.
Unless you're one team, and then
I mean,
that
hell, that's
team-
when we text. So it's the same thing. It
I know.
all revolves around
I-
Nebraska football and
when,
the Cats.
When Kansas is winning, or the Cats are winning, or the Bears are winning, or the Cowboys are winning, that's when I would shoot Jimmy a text.
Late night at Fog tonight down at
I
KU.
didn't even know.
No.
Okay, can I please? Can you
What?
do it?
Oh, it's just a practice, and no one get hurt.
Oh, he's a stud.
No, Peterson, he don't need to play.
Couple of
Kirk
things.
Heinrich.
Cou-
What a stud.
He didn't coach him.
No, he didn't.
No. That was old Roy.
Hey, come on. Know your KU basketball.
I don't.
You're talking to Max Falkenstein right here.
Take you to a game.
You know.
It's a nice building.
I would love to go.
I am.
Miss Max.
I think I'm because of my schedule and like they play UConn midweek. I went and saw UConn KU 2 years ago. It was great on a Friday night.
Mhm.
I think I'm going to go end of January to BYU.
Oh
Yeah,
wow, that'd be
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
That's incredible.
Because I go to one. Rachel being a KU alum,
Mhm.
we go to one game a year, and I think that's the game we're going to go to.
That's awesome. Did you go to Iowa State last year? Right? Was that the Kansas Iowa State game? That was a good game. In a different universe, I went to Kansas. It was my next school.
Is that where we met?
Well, yeah.
Well, actually,
I mean,
wait.
If COVID didn't happen and I was able to take visits,
Whoa,
I probably would have ended.
COVID
up at
changed your
Kansas.
life.
It really
You're
did
not
change
sitting
my life.
here now.
I would have seen the Hawk, and I
Well,
would have
that's
been
a-
like, I want to be there.
That's a hell of a statement. COVID changed your life.
Never
Well,
been said by anyone.
I didn't say that. Jimmy said that.
Actually, COVID led to me calling a football game 5 years ago.
Wow,
Today.
look
That
at
was
that.
my
That's
memory.
awesome.
Yeah, changed my life. No, it didn't.
All right.
We'll take you to a game, Matt. We'll get you to fun.
COVID 5 years ago, weren't we? Would this have been the weekend that the Big Ten started?
Yes,
5 years
around
ago?
that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this would have been the Ohio State game.
McCaffrey and Martinez down the field.
Who could forget?
That was great. And then it ended up not so good.
And now one guy's on the Niners and one guy is on the Commanders.
Wild world. It's a weird world we live in.
And that's the main thing.
Sometimes Cam Taylor-Britt is healthy and he's
Minnesota's a throwing
and
team.
he's inactive last night.
Yeah,
Zach Taylor has Joe Flacco save his job for another week. Indiana now can be both good at football and basketball, and they pay their football coach $11 million. Weird things happen. Nebraska wears all white, and they say, F you,
And they win.
karma gods. We're going into the Twin Cities, and we're going to leave with a dub. Weird things happen.
And
it's changing.
Don't you dare call them surrender whites. Don't you dare.
Not after tonight.
Not after tonight.
They're ass-kicking whites after tonight.
And with a nice little
but
pink
also
end.
don't wear 'em. Whatever happens tonight, win or lose, don't wear them, please. I love the red breeches. But I do want to, kicking off this hour, a couple of things to two really great people that had great days yesterday. So Bruce Rasmussen, one of the A++ people all around that I've ever met, and I'm fortunate to have a little relationship with him.
The legend.
But the former basketball coach, former athletic director, finally went into the Creighton Athletic Hall of Fame.
How did it take so long?
I thought it was named after him.
Yeah, that's Raz.
So congratulations to Raz, man. I heard the speech was great, and Raz is Raz. He has been so good to not only Creighton. I mean, that's a standalone, but he actually has been beneficial to Nebraska, and he's been beneficial to Omaha. He just is. He's a great person.
He's a man of Nebraska.
I mean, they can't do enough for him, and he doesn't want that. But I mean, every time you see Raz, how can you not smile? Handshake, conversation. So well deserved. But we all thought, hasn't he already been in the Hall of
That's
Fame?
funny. That's incredible.
And also,
said it.
God listens to the show, Cub fan, Husker fan. Big deal in this town. Bill Shammert.
Oh, nice.
He's going to be the replacement when Rob McCartney retires here at the end of the year. So Bill Shammert, he's a fantastic guy, man. He's a cock diesel, man. You think about not missing a day in the weight room, or at least he looks that way.
Sure.
Okay.
Jay Moore of local TV.
But it's like a dream. Like Rule, his dream job is Penn State. His destination job is Nebraska, or he's turned that into. I think Bill, dream job to be the main anchor at KTV. The seat hasn't been open for a long time because of the great run by Rob, and now starting in January, Bill Shammert will be the KTV anchor right next to Julie and Bill. So it'll be Bill and Andy and Julie. That's your 10 o'clock on Channel 7 here in Omaha.
It's a Bill sandwich in the morning.
You could run with that if you get it sponsored.
No, you know what? The Cornells are very good people.
Brought to you by Pickleman's.
I guess the Ranbys are really good people. Let's just leave sandwich and Bill and yeah, let's leave that out.
That's what you're setting me up for.
No, I'm not setting you up for anything.
Sometimes you put things on a tee. You put things on a tee for me. That was a moment where I felt like you put that on a tee.
No, I did not know that you would go with, hey, let's have a Bill and Bill sandwich for a female anchor on TV in this town. I did not know that you were going to go there.
There had nothing to do with the
I'm
female.
trying to say
It had everything to do with they had two Bills. You said there's Bill and Julie.
I'm trying to save you, okay? I'm going to call a corner blitz here. All right, to get you out of harm's way, so you are not on an island and you get burned.
Just call a draw.
Can you call a coffee house stunt, please? Please, could you? Just one, John. Just one coffee house stunt.
Is that coffee or is that a football play?
No, the coffee
I'm
house.
wondering where that black coffee is. Yesterday was a good day in college football. You know why yesterday was a good day in college football?
Because we got our very first I ain't going anywheres of the year, which I love those. Those are my favorite. But if you were we had a Matt McMaster niche sport Hall of Fame, that would be in there. The videos and the hype videos of coaches not leaving places when it was just rumors and not substance.
So I know nothing.
Okay.
Which is probably not something to say on a talk show where people are like, hey, what's your opinion?
Great podcast on NPR.
But when it comes to what coaches are going to do connected to Penn State, I never thought Cignetti was going to leave. I don't think Rule is going to leave, but Waco sticks out, and until it's done, you don't know. But I don't think he's going to leave. But
Lincoln's better than Wake.
You never know. Weird things happen. I never thought I'd be back in the state of Nebraska.
You never thought that Bobby Petrino would be coaching at Arkansas.
That is true. Side piece, sidecar. But yesterday was a great day in college athletics because a guy who bet on himself, who's had an incredible timeline and even a meteoric salary bump, Kurt Cignetti signs the big deal at Indiana. And the natural comparison is around here and other programs that are like in their second or third year of having a coach. If Indiana can do it, why can't you? Well, you can't because Cignetti's a unicorn and he's better than your coach. And he bet on himself and he's pulling off this magic act. So he gets paid at a school that football has been kind of an afterthought, but now they realize, hey, it's okay to be good at both, along with your main sport that you're attached to, but also your other sport. Everybody is a coach away. Basketball or football, you're a coach away from changing the perception. But
one way or the other.
Here's how big a day it was in college football. For what Cignetti has done, because he's already broken the glass ceiling.
Oh, big time.
We didn't think he'd do this. Winning at Oregon said, here we go. And his AD said, can you come to my office? And the AD is key in this because he realizes what he has and what's brewing and how they can benefit. But it's a great day that Cignetti at Indiana gets paid in football. But look at what he has done, not only for Indiana, but I'm going to give credit to Cignetti. He is the guy that forced the SEC to go to 9 conference games. So he's running this. It might be a magic act, but it is a hell of an act in Bloomington. And him getting paid yesterday and the kind of subtle way they announced it.
Yeah.
Good on Indiana. That was a great day for college football. I'm sure that Matt Rule might benefit greatly from it. Other coaches might benefit greatly from it. Matt Campbell might benefit greatly from it. But yesterday was a good day in college football because a school that is not known for football has invested, and they continue to invest, and they say, you're not taking our guy who has completely turned our program around. Now, Dannon, will you pull a Bill Moose or will you beat Troy Dannon in what you do with your head football coach?
So you bring up a great point with the 9-game schedule in the SEC. I mean, I just think Kurt Cignetti has put pressure on everybody. Like his success and where Indiana is at, like he's just put pressure on a lot of Big Ten teams, a lot of Big Ten coaches, a lot of SEC coaches, a lot of SEC teams, a lot of athletic departments are now in a way being put under the gun, whether it's fair or not, because of his success. I mean, when he got hired, what was best case scenario? He'd be a PJ Fleck of Indiana, right? You have a 9-win season, 10-win season, and then you kind of do 7-5, 8-4 consistent like that. That would have been
I think that's fair. That's a good comp. Yeah, I'm vibing with that.
That would have been like the peak. And in 2 years, right, he's going to end up making the college football playoff, at least in one of them, and a favorite at this point to make it in back-to-back years. I mean, the guy just won, and he's done it in an unprecedented way. And I mean, a lot of places are looking themselves in the mirror, being like, "Why not us? Why can't we?"
But you know what, though, he's a unicorn, man. He's just a winner. He is a winner, and he's different, and it's tough to compare. Now, I think as an AD, if you're looking and you fired your football coach, you might be looking at a head coach that can bring some guys with him. Okay, does he have a quarterback that is young that he can bring with him?
Sure.
Okay, you might do that as the Indiana. But I think trying to say, hey, how come you're not Cignetti? You know what? There are very few people that are like Cignetti. And you just admit out loud, the man's a winner. The man knows how to win and coach football. That is not just a circus act in Bloomington that they're playing with fire. You know what? They've got all the clowns in the car and they're not letting them out. And you know what? The elephants are running hard and they got all the trapeze and it's everywhere. I mean, it might be a circus, but you know what? It's a controlled circus and they're winning football games. He's what, 17-2 now?
That's crazy. 17-3. 17-3. No, they have lost a game this year. I'm a dummy. 17-2. And they lost the two games that they lost for the two teams who went to the national championship.
He brought up on McAfee yesterday because he was at the back end on McAfee.
Yeah.
He said, we were up 7-0 on Ohio State.
You know what? I thought that game was actually closer than what the score indicated. And I bet the under in that game, and I was pissed about it because they scored a bunch of points at the very end. I also do think too, like the whole being good at both. You don't think there are like athletic departments looking around being like, wow, they're paying Darren DeVries a lot of money and they're paying Kurt Cignetti a lot of money and they're putting a ton of money into the football team and a lot of money into the basketball team.
You're only one coach away, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you have your identity sport that needs to be strong.
Sure.
But there's no reason why if you're strong in football, you can't be strong in basketball. There's plenty of schools that do it. It's just Indiana's different because they've really never done it in football. And I think that they made a really good hire in D-Rock.
Sure.
So it looks like they'll be back to Indiana is relevant near the top in the Big Ten. But now you have football. I mean, it's banger.
Well,
It's, Michigan State, when they had D'Antonio and Izzo, they were riding high. We've seen it with Michigan. We've seen it with other schools. But I like the investment. And I think it's a good day in college football for the sport in general, because there's going to be other Indianas that are out there.
Sure.
And so we're bringing up the floor of college football.
Oh, big time.
While the ceiling, there's still a lot of people that are living up there and they're banging their head. But we're getting where the meaty middle is a really good place to be in college football.
You said something after the Nebraska basketball season that really stuck with me. Not Bearcat.
Starting tomorrow.
You talked about, we're going to find out what coaches can coach. Right.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's going to really boil down to, the whole money thing or whatever. We're going to really find out who are good coaches and who aren't good coaches. But I think Kirk Cignetti has added a layer to your statement, because now he's proven the proof of concept of if you build it, they will come, because he's a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
And he's built and he's coached really well and he's built that team and they've won a lot of games. But now that they've won, what has happened? The money has come. The investment has come. So Kurt Cignetti has proved, okay, if you are a good coach and you coach above your standards, eventually there will be people, if you're in a big enough university, will look around and say, okay, you did that with that. We'll give you more. We want to see what you can do with this. We'll see what you can do with this. And so now you got a coach at Indiana making $11 million. All off of the basis.
Second highest paid coach in the Big Ten behind Ryan.
But all off of the basis of your statement of, if you're a good coach, you're a good coach. He's a great coach. This is what's happened.
And I think also what they've done is they've reminded people how important the athletic director is.
God, yes.
Like making a hiring, support, everything. That's why. So what Rule said yesterday was spot on. Rule. Okay. He's got some leverage. He's playing kind of both sides, but maybe he's a 75-25 guy for the old GBRs, but he knows what audience he's talking to with McAfee.
Sure.
His audience that he talked to on Monday with us, different from the one he talked on Thursday. So here comes Troy Dannon. I think in this situation, we all know that Nebraska needs an influx. Okay. Nebraska needs to find a way to get Omaha money. They've gotten Lincoln money. They struggle with getting the Omaha money.
Yeah.
And it's not just a Dannon thing.
It's interesting.
Trev had that. Trev tried to bridge Lincoln and Omaha and he beat his head into the wall.
NRG State.
But you need, but the money is in Omaha. How do you get the money in Omaha to drive down Interstate 80 and go into the Grandma at 10th and Vine?
Or Highway 6.
But think about this, because you know where this is going. Like Bill Moose was handing out extensions and raises like willy-nilly. Hey, if you walked onto the field during the tunnel walk, let me give you an extra year and $400K. Okay, coach? Is it easier in this discussion for Nebraska to give an extension and a raise, or what I really think Rule wants, because I think Rule looks and he goes, I'm well paid.
Yeah.
I want the other part. But the easier part might be extension raise than saying, hey, here's an investment in the program, because Dannon can't control that part. He can control the salary bump and the years on your contract. It's a weird dynamic of, I think Rule definitely wants the investment, but where's that investment going to come from? Where do we go find that while you're still trying to win? Like tonight would help.
Yes, yes, it would.
Next week would help.
Yeah,
the following week would help.
Yeah.
So it's a weird dynamic as an athletic director that you have to balance of, hey, I think I got a good relationship. I get a good feel that Matt's not going to leave, but you never know about going home and the emotion there. But I think we're in a good spot. How do we make it a better spot? Going off of what Rule said yesterday about this has become a destination job. And he's right. Rule has turned the Nebraska job in a short amount of time into a really good job. And I think 2 months from now, whether it's Matt Rule or Gary Sharp coaching Nebraska football, because of the discussion that's gotten louder, the job is better.
1,000,000%. And Matt Rule has proven you can have some stabilization in Nebraska, which has not
It's
been
a good word
proven.
to use.
I mean, you can make something and you can win some games. So, and I don't, we bring up all this extension talk. I don't pay attention to extensions in this regard because you're right.
You're right. We've seen this before.
Yeah.
Well, I think with any coach,
yeah. I'm not paying attention to that. And also too, Matt Rule signed an extension and then he went to Carolina. Okay. So that's
damn him.
That happened as well. So, and also
backstabber.
Like, Matt Rule's
I heard what you said at Baylor. You said the same thing on McAfee word for word.
Yeah. I mean, not word for word, but like,
Minnesota by 5 tonight. Just kidding.
Well, Matt Rule, I feel like every month we hear a story of he made this massive purchase for everybody. Like he bought the entire band of burritos and he catered this entire, he's a very, but you know what I'm saying here.
You guys can't go to Cincinnati, but the coach is going to get you burritos.
Exactly. But he
When you put it that way,
dude, he caters team dinners and he caters stuff. He's a very giving guy. I don't think money is on the top of his mind. It's more so, I need a tackle.
Yeah.
I need more money for a tackle.
Yeah.
I need more money for a running back. I need more money here. That is what's going to keep Matt Rule here, not adding 3 more years and $10 more million to his contract because he's got a ton of money. He made a ton of money at Carolina.
He's I want to win.
A ton of money here.
This will help me win.
Exactly, Jimmy. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm not paying attention to the extension talk. And also, too, you've brought up the vibe of maybe Matt Rule not coaching for as long as people think.
Yeah.
Him doing
I've said about 7 more years.
Him doing the podcast, him going on McAfee, right? Him kind of showing that personality and acting different on ESPN, or not acting different, but vibing with those guys and having a good time.
Benetti and Rule one day.
No, seriously, Jimmy, I think
he'd actually be really good.
I think he's setting himself up eventually to be in the media world, to be in the broadcasting world, and I think he'd do a really good job at it. So that's why. The angle of we want to give Nebraska more exposure is definitely there. But at the same time, too, I think he's angling for himself to show, hey, I can do this TV thing eventually. And I don't blame him. Why? If you could do TV,
they'll keep him living longer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. We have our picks on tonight in Minneapolis at beautiful Huntington Bank Stadium. Great place to watch a game. Hey, you still have time. You can listen to the show, hop in your car, drive to the Twin Cities, and you'll be able to tailgate a little bit. The tailgate scene is not the greatest.
I was going to ask you about that. Is it a big
but there's a good
lot?
stretch of bars. There's a good stretch of bars and sports bars.
5.5,
a couple of blocks from the stadium. Yeah, about 5.5.
I could do it.
Just hump it between here and Des Moines, then hit 80 going north.
Good weather.
You don't need to stop at the Pizza Ranch north of Ames. Just keep, And then once you get to about Owatonna, you can hammer it. You can put the pedal down. But then you also got to factor in you're going to run into some rush hour traffic, and then you got to pay attention when you get closer to downtown Minneapolis. You got to focus on the signs because you don't want to get lost, and you want to go right. You don't want to go left. Okay, there's my little tip. But I think a lot of people are going to listen to the show, and then at 10 they're just going to get in the car and they're going to drive north, and they're just going to keep driving, and then they're going to see the northern red GBR star, and they're going to be like, "Where's Dylan?"
Everybody's going far right in Minneapolis.
It's a Friday night. It's a Football Friday Fiesta. We'll have our thoughts on what's going to happen, score, and our contest that we will do.
Oh, yes.
Still to come, a Mike Schaefer will stop by. When we come back, one man is going home tonight, and another is playing against his hometown team. We're back with more of Gary and Matt with Jimmy after this on a Football Friday Fiesta on 1620 The Zone. All right, we have basketball and football on the zone tonight. Creighton and Iowa State, number 16 Iowa State, number 23 Creighton, exhibition game downtown. You'll hear it here on the zone. And then you got Big Red Overreaction right afterwards. And then don't forget, Nebraska takes on ATM tomorrow at Pinnacle Bank Arena. You think any of the Nebraska players, while there's a stoppage in play and they're waiting for it to resume, and they go to Bansa and say, "Hey, can I get a loan?" He makes more in NIL than Nebraska's entire roster. But we'll get to watch Frager play tomorrow.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. See if all of the advertised goodwill, what that looks like. But enjoy basketball tonight. Creighton, Iowa State. I think that'll be a fun game with two teams that have a lot of questions and a lot of new faces that'll be in a starting lineup. So enjoy the basketball, but don't overreact.
I'm not.
What if you guys get Creighton overreaction calls on Big Red Overreaction?
Now that would be a twist.
How
will you handle that?
It'd be good training for my postgame show.
Oh, that's true. Oh, I think you'll be fine.
I'm gonna be.
You could integrate them today. Just kind of do them both. Just react to one and react to the other, and
people lose their mind.
Yeah,
if all of a sudden,
both.
All of a sudden, they want to talk about Dane Key and Jackson McAndrew. What's the undisclosed injury comes up? People you don't want that.
Matt, look, I thought Dylan was great today. I was wondering when's Freeman coming back?
Yeah, Freeman will not play tonight as well.
People are like, "Who's Freeman? Freeman, is he a wide receiver? He's a fullback?"
Thought Marcus was going to Penn State. So tonight,
that's the next one.
So tonight, Emmett Johnson goes home, and Malachi Coleman plays against his hometown team and a school he used to beat with.
Will he play against his
Say one
hometown
reception,
team?
6 yards?
I don't know. So he is coming off his first game where he had an FBS target.
Okay.
Against Purdue. He did not catch the pass, but he had a target. Malachi Coleman has been referred to as very raw.
Yeah, I think that would have been the case.
Couple of years at Nebraska, and now at Minnesota. I'm not surprised that this is the case with Malachi Coleman. So you got to separate. I think Malachi Coleman, the person, very good person, has great goodwill. Okay. I think he has a big heart. I think he wants to do big things, and he's kind of done some big things, telling his story and what he's done for people in Lincoln. I think the football part, I went and watched him. Okay. So he blew up his junior year, and now he had a baller, man. That was a really good Lincoln East team. Noah Walters was throwing him the ball. I didn't like him.
Yeah.
Because we were take plays off guy. And I thought he should dominate because I'd watched him run track. I'm like, this is a hell of an athlete. If he can take the track stuff and combine it with football, and they find the right position for him, because I also saw him play defense in high school, man, you might have something here. And I think the worst thing that happened to Malachi Coleman from football, Malachi Coleman, is he is from Lincoln, Nebraska. So everybody's like, you got to go to Nebraska. Nebraska's got to get you.
Yeah.
Nebraska gets you. Okay. And then they almost lost him to Colorado. Might have actually been better if he would have gone to Colorado. But you're from Lincoln. You got to go to Nebraska. You got to go to Nebraska. You got to go to Nebraska. So everybody knows your name because he was one of the first NIL high school kids.
Yeah.
Okay. He had a burrito. Has a foundation.
Yeah.
And that stuff he does is legit, and that's great. And I hope he continues to do that whenever his football career comes to an end. But the football part is you got to go to Nebraska, and then the expectations are through the roof. It's kind of the similar with Carter Nelson.
Sure.
You got to do this. Oh my God, you're going to blow up. You're going to be great. You're going to be an All-American. You're going to be a hometown kid. And he was not prepared to play football at the college level. And then things go south. He gets passed over, and you're like, what's up with Malachi Coleman? And then he transfers to Minnesota. And Minnesota might be able to turn the corner with him, but it's almost better if he would have gone somewhere else, had success, and then like, I'm coming home. So him struggling in his college career is not a surprise to me at all. I think any of us that watched a lot of his back end of his high school career was like, man, this is a possibility. And, Mickey stayed on him while he was in high school. And maybe if Mickey Joseph is at Nebraska, because he had a really good relationship with him, things are different. So I'm not surprised that he only has one catch for 6 yards in his first year at Minnesota. And it took until Purdue for him to get an FBS target. I don't think you'll see him tonight unless Flex says, hey, let's show Nebraska. And then Nebraska go, hey, let's show you number 21. You guys have about 14 and a half missed tackles on average this year. Emmett has broken 31 tackles.
Jeez.
I like my chances with 21 over
16.
Over what Malachi Coleman is wearing.
Running with bad intentions.
So those are my thoughts on Malachi
yeah.
Coleman. I think he's a really good young man.
Yeah.
He's got a great story to tell, and then the family that he grew up with in Lincoln. But I think the football stuff, yeah, I'm not. It is what it is. It's what I thought.
I imagine it was tough for him just because his commitment was a big deal. It was a really, really big deal.
When he was going to go to Colorado or Nebraska, look at on signing day when he committed to Nebraska, that young staff.
Yeah.
I mean, I should say young, but they hadn't coached yet in Nebraska. The celebration coop was like through the roof.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, and he had the big ceremony and everything like that. And then he was the type of guy where his first game against Minnesota, funny enough, you're like, oh, he's out on the field, right? You're like, oh, well, how is he progressing? How is he doing? And, there are very few people who are born with an NFL body, and he's got it. And that's you weren't one of those people. Neither was I. No one here. Very few people are born with it. He was born with it. And
Jesus,
I think
Jimmy threw you under the bus.
No,
I mean, I'm throwing myself under the bus too. We weren't.
Have you seen Jimmy's calves?
I had a bright
Jimmy
future.
does have nice calves.
Thank you.
Nice calves.
But Malachi Coleman is over 6 foot tall, runs a 4.4, is built like Adonis, super strong. Yeah. Like he's got it. He's got it all. And I always thought, man, he'd be a great DN. I thought he would have been a phenomenal DN.
I like where you're going because he was playing a little bit of that at Lincoln East.
And I thought he had the length and the speed and the bend and the flexibility, but it just seemed like he didn't want that. And I think that might have communicated some things to you, right? Maybe you can read in between the lines of, hey man, you have all the tools to be a top 20, top 30 pick as a DN in the NFL. And he chose not to do that for whatever reason. And so I think you can kind of read into that. And, I like your idea too of you go somewhere else, you get a lot of success, you actually develop without the microscope. Because if Malachi Coleman were to go to, let's just say, Georgia Tech, just throwing out a random team, we go to Georgia Tech. He's your run-of-the-mill 4-star, right? He's just a young, really good player. Hopefully he develops into something. He kind of goes under the radar. He just focuses on football. He goes to Nebraska. You're not under the radar at all.
Yeah.
You're the top player from the hometown. Everybody wants you to do well. Everyone wants you to succeed. That's a lot of pressure to deal with.
I think, and Fleck probably looked at him and said, okay, this is what the ceiling could be. And Minnesota recruited him out of high school. But on the other part, let's focus on the guy that's going to play a lot tonight. Man, how does EJ handle this? Because it has been Emmett Johnson welcome home week. They're walking through at his high school.
So sick.
The multiple buses are going to pull up and they're going to walk through on his high school field.
That's so cool.
Take the over on this stuff.
So here is Emmett, who leads the Big Ten in carries. You know who's second in receptions on this roster?
Emmett Johnson.
Yeah. So he's coming home. Rule has acknowledged it. They're making him a captain. Emmett went and sat with the fellas and chopped it up before the year, and it's personal. So we've seen some guys, it's just too much. But I can't wait to see
extreme focus.
I don't worry about that. And I don't really have a worry about Emmett handling this. But what the thing for me tonight is, how do they handle him in the offense?
Sure.
Because I like going through the air. I like MSP, man. You get off, if you fly the Delta direct from Omaha to Minneapolis, you get off and they have a brand new terminal or a Delta wing. But man, you get off and they got a great Caribou right there. I love Caribou coffee. Okay. So
by the way, elite coffee.
It is really good.
Elite coffee at Caribou.
For stupid reasons. Not stupid because I do love the area. I've made that drive way too much.
Sure.
From Lincoln to the Twin Cities, from Omaha to the Twin Cities, from Des Moines to the Twin Cities. I like to go by the air. I'm like, now that's 5.5 hours in the car, man. I lose my mind. I've seen enough of my home state. I don't need to see that. There's a lot of pig farms out there. Okay.
A lot of windmills.
So I like to fly, and that's a quick flight, man. You got on the flight, and usually it's on time. I know what Delta flight it is. Boom, you fly, you land. It's about 54 minutes from gate to gate. Boom, you're off. You get a Caribou coffee. Then you're on the tram and you're headed towards downtown, unless you want to stop at Mall of America. I still think the best route tonight is to throw the football. But what do you think the stat line usage rate in running and catching looks like for Emmett Johnson tonight?
17 carries, 115 yards, 6 catches, 39 yards.
Okay, so in the wheelhouse of what we're thinking, 20 to 25 touches a game.
Yes.
So there'd be 23 in your world. I like
touches
that.
the ball 23 times. He has 140 scrimmage yards.
And have fun trying to tackle.
It's been interesting with Emmett Gary.
He's 31 missed tackles.
Yeah. I mean,
and Minnesota averages 14 and a half missed tackles in their last 4 games.
And that was the thing about Emmett. The book on Emmett a couple of years ago, at least what I was told is, man, he's got a lot of developing to do, but he can make you miss in a phone booth.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's been able to develop into he gets skinny in the holes and he hits the holes, and he's been hitting them better. He hits them way better now than he was against Cincinnati. He's developed well in that regard too. But now he's still kept that facet of his game. I like, though, Emmett isn't necessarily like hey, we're going to Theo Riddick or Darren Sproles, where we're going to pitch it out to you and you're going to try and get 20, 25 yards. He's more of the safety valve. He's like, all right, Dylan didn't find the first 2 reads. We'll pitch it out to Emmett because we know he can get 5-6 yards. I kind of like that he, you don't always have to rely on Lindenmeyer or Harburg or the tight ends can do that. You can pitch that out to Emmett and maybe he can break one too. I think they're finally Dana. What did Dana say? He's my type of back. He's just my type of running back. And that's very fortunate to have Dana, and very fortunate to have Emmett while you have Dana, because it's just a match made in heaven.
Now, we both know how important he is to Nebraska tonight. I mean, when you look at the depth of the running back, I'm glad that we're both in agreement. Darius Taylor, again, he's my most important player in the game tonight. Healthy, what does Minnesota do with him? Now, I think we talked this into fruition. We're just going to give us credit. I wonder if this is just a graphic or this is going to happen. So Minnesota and Nebraska are together on Breast Cancer Awareness Night.
Yeah.
Okay. Gophers and the Huskers love boobs tonight.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Boys for boobs.
They just put out a graphic. The N is pink and the red stripe is pink. I know they're wearing pink shoes.
Get
and
ready
they have,
for the calls.
Yeah. So
they went through.
Is the helmet going to be where it's red, except for the face mask? Is everything else going to be pink on the Nebraska helmet tonight?
What if they came out with a white face mask? So white face mask, pink and pink stripe. And then you had the white jersey and white pants.
That would show me that Jay Terry's equipment staff, they've been busy putting all new face masks on.
That's good. Okay. I didn't think of the logistics part of it.
So I'm looking at this graphic, and it's tweeted out by the Huskers.
Okay. Look, I think
the pink and the red kind of,
clash.
But
is that a pink face mask though?
No, that looks more like a red face mask.
Yeah, it looks red.
Does it look red to you guys?
Yeah, you colorblind?
My eyes aren't great, if I'm actually being honest.
Oh my God, you are falling apart. You're the young pup of this show.
Can I get my $100 before you fall apart?
Screw you. And you're not getting it. I didn't leave it here. It looks pink to me.
We have controversy. I think is Austin doing?
He is. He'll be here. Tonight.
Oh, you guys are not going to want to miss the crossover.
Can I be honest?
Got a 7-gamer going here.
If that is red,
I'm going to get my $100.
You're not getting it. If that's a red face mask, it looks better than I thought it would. Like I'd be cool with that. I think
I don't do it upright.
By the way, I don't think they're bluffing. I think this is what they're going with. I think this is the I think they put it out there for a reason, which by the way, I love it. I don't give a damn if you're like, oh, I want the red end of the red stripe. It's cool. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I love the pink end.
They're first class. They'll do it right.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah. So I think we're all in agreement here. People on the stream and Twitter that it's the pink end is coming.
Wow. You know what? The comments here.
The curse of the pink N.
The surrender pinks.
The what
comments,
if it has the opposite?
The comments are
the Pink
actually
Husker Club.
The comments are incredibly positive here.
Well, it's a great. I mean, I'm glad that they're both coming together, and it's a cause that hits home to PJ Fleck and Matt Rule. So that when it does as a coach, and this is the cause, you understand it more and you deliver the message more to the public to raise awareness and funds, but also your team. So I'm glad that Nebraska is like, you know what? Let's do this.
I love it.
And look at it. Another thing, this will get a nice little bump and a good PR for both teams because it's on Big Fox.
Yes.
Yep.
I like that. Good play.
The Pink Husker Club.
I'm in it. By the way, there's there's eight comments being like, oh my God, this is incredible. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And then you have your token one guy who's like, you guys are going to look like a bunch of baby girls. Screw that guy.
Okay.
Screw that guy.
I have one.
I
That
think-
didn't look like it.
I think
She's
for
much
to-
smaller.
I think for today you'll be blocked.
Oh, yeah. Oh, big time.
Mike
I love
Schaefer's
the
coming
big
up in the next hour. The crossover with Austin Jacobson in today. Matt says that Austin is a liar.
I did not say that. I'm
He
just saying
said
that
he's a
I
liar.
know what
And you
I
said
did
he told the
yesterday,
truth.
and I did not leave a certain thing in a certain place.
Young Matt once again left a Monster Energy drink in the bathroom.
I did
open,
not.
where the particles from the bathroom were seeping
I
in.
did not.
Poop energy.
I did not do that.
But
Big
on the
poop
side note, I was trying to help my little friend here be better, to be cognizant of not bringing that into the bathroom.
Nobody else drinks that
we
here.
had a bet. I just want my $100.
We made $100 bet that if I did it, I'd give you 100, and if I went a whole year, you'd give me 100.
Yeah. And you went about 35
I
days,
went
which was great.
We went 35 days, and I'm on day 36 because I didn't do it yesterday.
I chart everyone's drinks downstairs. Nobody drinks Monster. Not
many,
even close.
many think that Austin Jacobson is one of the sweetest, dearest people.
I legitimately walked into my car with a Monster Energy drink.
We're a Diet
okay?
Coke floor down here, so I don't know who had it if it wasn't you.
I don't know. I've asked around the radio station this morning. It's just easier than to just give me the 100.
No.
Yeah. I gave you my Venmo.
Yeah.
This has been a great behind the scenes story all morning long. All right. We got our picks coming up and more as Nebraska. A pink N?
Love it.
And stripe?
Love it.
Are you what? Who was that team in Lincoln? On 1620 The Zone. All right. John writes in. Well, Matt is absolutely disgusting for taking his monster into the bathroom with him.
This is a drink for those tuning in.
He has nothing on some dude that works on the same floor as me. I've seen a coffee mug sitting on the floor of a stall while this guy was making his deposit before.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's
all right.
that's
Tough.
Yeah.
At least I put it on the sink.
I once saw it in the stall. Now, this was before I had my 6-week vacation, but
it was unopened. I know the day you're talking.
Yeah.
Put it unopened in the corner.
Because I did see the tweet the last day you left it. Because oh, Matt's still up to Matt things. I miss him.
I miss you too, Jimmy.
Oh, thank you.
Put it on the sink. That's where you put it.
Not yesterday.
Yeah, it's the same exact spot. I went and looked at my tweet and Happer's tweet, and then
Josh's tweet,
and then Josh's tweet, and now Austin's tweet.
Bishop has tweeted about it.
Yeah, they're all very similar on where they've seen your Monster Energy.
I can go to my car right now.
To be
and
fair,
I can
Bishop never
grab
lies.
the Monster Energy drink that I crumpled up and put in my car after I dumped it out when I entered my car because I already had 2 things in my cup holder.
Bob, who works upstairs, who I think may have gone into the bathroom after you said it's you.
Who's Bob? We don't even have
He
a
works
Bob
upstairs.
No one works here.
Sure they do.
Well, I think we still do.
Yeah. Good morning upstairs.
Good
All right,
morning.
hey, listen.
So, quick one here, David.
I love the people up.
David, I don't know if this is true. David writes in. He goes, "Just heard your suggestion to get in the car and head to Minnesota. I'm doing just that.
Hell yeah! Let's go."
Now I think David has already a plan here.
Okay.
My 8 and 6-year-old boys don't have school today. What is this, fall break?
Yeah, this is why I would avoid the pumpkin patch today. But next week, there you go.
So bought tickets late yesterday, and we're leaving Omaha in about 30 minutes for our boys' trip to see the Huskers. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
So here's a couple of things. So Huntington Bank Stadium is right there on campus. It is a Big Ten campus. It feels like a Big Ten campus. Also, if you're driving up there, the leaves are starting to change. So it is beautiful.
Yeah, we're
Like,
a little
it
late
is
this
really
year,
beautiful.
so it works out.
Tailgating is so because there's not monster parking lots around the stadium, but there's
give me a parking
BW3 is
spot.
across the street from one end zone.
Ooh.
I will if you walk, and it's only a couple of blocks from the stadium, University Avenue. You can walk down University Avenue like a good Big Ten bar is Stub and Herbs. That's one I would suggest to go to.
Maybe there'll be a Husker bar that everyone will congregate on.
Well, that one at Lions Pub is downtown, but Sally's Saloon is in a nice place. If you just walk along University Avenue, and University Avenue Southeast is how it's labeled, but because University Avenue goes a long way, and then once you cross the Mississippi, it becomes Northeast.
Just don't walk.
I love the
across
breakdown.
I guess
here.
wait a minute. University Avenue does not does it cross the Mississippi. I think it does.
So
So Southeast is where you got 2 banks. You got the East Bank and the West Bank of where the campus is. Now, I went to school there, so I know a little bit.
Right, you said that. Tunnels.
Yeah, but if you're on University Avenue and you just walk down there, you're going to see a lot of bars, and there'll be a lot of Husker people there. Stub and Herbs is kind of a fun little place to go to.
I got
great
it.
service, great food, drink. It feels like a Big Ten bar.
Sure.
Dinkytown is close, but it's a little bit of a walk, and Dinkytown gets packed, and it gets a little crazy down there.
Sure.
So stay around the stadium. Stadium Village isn't bad, but it's nice around the stadium. It's a really good place to watch a game. There's not a lot of bells and whistles. They put the gopher on the board when Coonan's going to be kicking a field goal.
Sure.
They got an open end. They're going to have a great
chipmunk.
student section. It'll be a beautiful night for
Student section's
football.
awesome.
But the drive is actually pretty easy. Enjoy the fall foliage. Look at all the windmills and turbines as you drive between here and Des Moines, and then you go north and look at all the feedlots, and then you get towards the Twin Cities, and then once you get like Lakeville, and you can kind of see
Like a
downtown
phoenix
Minneapolis,
rising
and
out
you
of
can
the
see
ashes.
US Bank Stadium a little bit, and you get a little bit closer, and the traffic gets a little bit crazier. Should be good.
I got a quick
David, safe travels up there. But if you stay around the stadium, there is a lot of bars that will be very busy, and they have Husker flavor to them, and they will be very welcoming. Now, some people may not know there's a football game going on.
Sure.
Just
That's
like
fun.
We had a friend.
Champaign, Illinois.
We had a friend that took an Uber to the game at Maryland.
Okay.
And the Uber driver was like, "Why do you want to go to campus on a Saturday?"
When I had to Uber back from Arrowhead to go back to the house to go and get my keys, or go and get my car after I lost my keys, the guy was like, "What's happening here today?" And
This
I was
is not
"There's a
helping
game
your
going
case,
on."
by the way.
Real quick, I got a question for you because You know, if people were to come to Lincoln, I would tell you, hey, go to Sandy's, get an Elk Creek pitcher, right? Go, hey, you got to go to Brothers, go and get a Long Island iced tea pitcher. Make sure you go to Bar the Bar, go ahead and get a Slinky, right? Any specialty drinks that you know of off the top of your head that they do at some of those bars that you're suggesting? Like,
Beer.
do they have a
so there's not one on campus. Red Cow is a place I would go to get a burger.
Okay.
Hell yes, Red Cow.
They used to have. You guys ever have Sobelman's in Wisconsin?
I was gonna say Dairy Queen.
No.
Yes, they have.
I've
those
never
in
had.
You ever been to Burger King?
No. Sobelman's, guys. You ever been to Sobelman's in Wisconsin?
I have not.
It's such a good burger place. I
I
had
was
it on
Culver's.
Marquette's campus.
I
It was like elite. Like, is that like what Red Cow is?
A little bit different, but Red Cow's got some great drinks and great food. But there's not one like right close to the stadium. Anything from Surly Brewing, that's a local one. Summit Twins Pills is a good one. Like, you want a Grain Belt, so you got a lot of local breweries that are up in the Twin Cities that you're going to find on tap as you go to these places. So it's a great time. You'll have a great time. They love to party up there. It's a huge campus. There's 50,000 people that go there. My first class I ever went to, there were 795 people. And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
And they did it by alphabetical where you sat. So I was like way in the back.
You just leave class early?
But I love the campus. It feels like a Big Ten campus.
I should go up there.
I think it'll be a good night for football. It'll be a good night for football. And getting your seats early to see Flex sprint on the field. And also to see how cool it is that Nebraska is honoring breast cancer awareness by going with the pink N and the stripe. Joe in Vegas. Hello, Joe in Vegas. He goes, I'm all in for breast cancer awareness. However, if they lose, you knew this was coming. Hey,
That's
Joe,
a great setup.
Joe is great. Joe is
That's
great.
incredible.
He goes,
But
however, if they lose and surrender whites with pink in them, the memes, Nebraska will have to endure with the endless. That's the only drawback.
They got to win tonight.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I think I just made my prediction.
They're representing. They're showing awareness for a disease. That's not no memes.
Steve lives in Bloomington, Minnesota. Hello, Steve. Wonder if he was a Bloomington Jefferson or a Bloomington Kennedy grad.
Long live the Met.
He ain't no Edina Hornet. That's where if I grew up in Minneapolis, I would have lived in Edina.
Yeah.
So I was always a big Edina.
I lived in Edina.
Willard Icola, legendary late hockey coach, great athletic program there.
I would have been a great Minnetonka hockey player.
You would have been a skipper.
Yeah.
I am just trapping. But he goes, unfortunately, he will not be going to the game this year. Britt's Pub is a fun place. And if anyone comes up, you know the Juicy Lucy? You gotta go to Matt's Bar. It's the original Juicy Lucy.
What's a Juicy Lucy?
You don't know? I'm actually surprised. Yeah.
It's a staple.
Oh, that's what they call it? Okay, cool. That's dope. I like
you
that.
need a hoodie and a shirt from that.
Get yourself some lutefisk.
Get
yourself some walleye on a stick.
I have a lot of walleye on a stick.
Hey, a lot of people when Nebraska played up there 2 years ago, a lot of people went to the state fair because it was going on at the same time. But not this year.
There's some places in Minnesota, if they ever have sunfish on the menu, go and get it.
Yeah. Do we want to? We got to take a break because we're a little bit behind here, and Matt owes me $100.
Andy, don't go away because he was passionate.
Oh no,
passionate.
Oh no.
Also, Jake says he just hopes Damon goes to the right stadium. So 2 years ago, Damon went to the wrong stadium. U.S. Bank Stadium is not very far from Huntington Bank.
U.S. Bank Stadium.
It is nice. He probably just wanted to see it.
said, "Kate, can you take me to the?"
To the stadium. That's tough.
Yeah.
Well, I went to Elkhorn instead of Elkhorn South that one time, so that was. It happens to the best of us, DB.
Brandon, come on. Of course, you'd be in a Dino Hornet elitist. I just like, you know what? It's the only carpeted grocery store I've ever been in, Byerly's. I don't think they're still around because I think Cub Foods and Hy-Vee ran them out. But grocery store, carpet on the aisles.
Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure it was called Byerly's. It was in Edina.
That is
But that was
crazy.
like so Edina.
I'm gonna say I met some people from Edina. Yeah.
What does that mean? So Edina.
Cool people though.
Hey, Tom Nevers is a good friend of mine. Played hockey at Edina and then played at the U.
Nice.
I love
that you call it the U too. Everybody calls it the U up there.
I think Minnesota, North Dakota are playing hockey this weekend, but I think it's in Grand Forks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But you got Mariucci is right there. You can see the barn. Go inside of the barn. Williams Arena. Then you got the pavilion where the women's sports play. Then you got Mariucci and then Ritter Arena. Their facilities are like they've spent a lot of money. But have fun tonight.
Minnesota Gary, I love it.
I love the Twin Cities.
I know you do.
Just wish that baseball team at the other side of downtown would be a little bit better. All right, Mike Schaefer's going to join us here in a little bit, and Andy's going to jump on Matt's ass. I'm just reading what it says on the prompter.
It's what he wanted to do.
It's 1620 The Zone on a
It's
game day.
It's my guy, Andy.
All right, we kick off the last hour before we get to Mr. Mike Schaefer. Good morning, Andy. How are you?
My guy.
Good morning, Gary. Yeah, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be able to eat for a couple days. Anybody that takes a drink into the freaking bathroom, are you what? Are you disgusting or what? And when Gary said that guy was in the stall depositing something, his coffee cup sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
That's about the grossest thing I've ever heard. And you know,
Definitely down there.
I was in a bar down here. Well, I live here in Naples, Florida, but I was at a sports bar, and some lady had a container of food that she didn't eat. She walks into the freaking bathroom with it. It's like, oh my God, that's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't eat in the bathroom, Andy. I just put.
I don't care. It doesn't matter. You took your drink into the bathroom.
I got to stay hydrated.
Hey,
I've never done
hey,
that.
Well, yeah, what?
Hey, Andy, were you at Foxborough?
Oh no, but I just I do go to it once. Oh no.
Okay.
I wasn't there. No.
All right.
No.
All right.
I can't remember where I was at. But hey, I got another question.
Okay.
Back in 2023, when Nebraska played Minnesota, who was that running back
Anthony Grant.
that fumbled that ball?
Anthony Grant.
Okay, all right. But anyway, Matt, come on, man.
I know. I'm thinking it too.
Yeah. Andy, thanks for the
All
phone
right,
call.
well, you guys have a great day and go Big Red.
Hey, you have a great time down there in God's country of Southwest Florida. Naples is Edina, so that's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Naples is the bougie part of Southwest Florida. Fort Myers, people say they're from Naples. They're like, ooh.
Say this.
That's right.
You say you're from Skokie, man. You say you're from Winnetka. Oh,
yeah. We say we're from Columbus, now living in Omaha. It is Mike Schaefer from Husker 24/7. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. As someone who has been in the bathrooms at NRG, I strongly advise not bringing drinks in there.
I know, right, Schaefer?
yeah, I know. I'm a dummy, Schaefer.
We're breaking him
Yes,
down.
sir.
We're breaking him down.
You live and learn.
Yeah. Let me first start here because you got to cover it. And, every time there's a coaching firing or rumors of a coach moving, recruits make it well known. Trey Taylor did not hesitate yesterday he's locked in on Nebraska. And then a couple other of recruits that either committed to Nebraska or are interested in Nebraska responded. What's the general sense you get about future Huskers looking at the situation with Matt Rule and what he has said this week?
Well, I think either they've heard from the coaching staff directly or they're kind of following along. Obviously, Rule was on Pat McAfee on Thursday and had comments on that. So I think a lot of them feel like he's still going to be the coach of Nebraska. They're not looking to do anything different in their recruitment. I mean, I don't know how many of them in the 26th class have other options right out in front of them, too. I mean, that's the other reality of the situation. Now, if teams start to come in and show interest, obviously a Trey Taylor, the 2027 commit, no one's stopping recruiting him just because he's been committed to Nebraska since May. But it's, every case is a little bit different, but overwhelmingly it's been positive. I think they've appreciated the way that Rule has sort of handled it. And for those of them that have talked directly, the commentary is that he's going to be Nebraska's coach into the future. And so whether that happens or not, obviously we'll find out in a month or so. But I think that overall, Nebraska's handled this about as well as you can, given that it starts here in October. And this is relatively new territory. I mean, when Bo Pelini was being discussed for jobs, it was more in November and a little bit more under wraps and kind of out in the open the way that things are now here in 2025. As we know, Scott Frost and Mike Riley weren't exactly hot candidates for pursuit during their time period. So this is kind of new territory for Nebraska and Nebraska fans.
Mike, I know it's Husker game day, but I've been thinking about asking you this question since Tuesday because you do a great NFL podcast, the National Fun League. And by the way, you very accurately described how I watch football games as a little kid on a sugar high mixed with an emo kid, which is very accurate. But Brian Callahan gets fired, and Tennessee is an absolute dumpster fire. And the year before, they were the worst team in the NFL, and they picked the quarterback number 1 overall. And once again, we are in a situation with a different franchise where their rookie quarterback, who's the number 1 overall pick, is now being coached by an interim head coach, and they have to hire a new coach in year 2. They have to learn a brand new system in year 2. And it's almost as if you waste a year on, one of his cheap years on that rookie deal. Why, in your opinion, are NFL franchises just so afraid to fire a coach, even if it might be after 1 year, after getting the number 1 overall pick and foregoing building around that number 1 overall pick right away?
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it in that sense a whole lot. But obviously that happened with your Bears the year before. It happened this year now with the Titans. I'm sure it's happened with other teams as well. But it would make sense that you would want to start fresh with your new quarterback and your coaching staff that's going to be around them, rather than, as you said, kind of have that sort of waste year. I don't know that there's an easy answer there. I guess the easy answer is I have no idea, and I still have no idea to this day how the relationship got so bad with Vrabel and the Titans that they ended up with, Brian Callahan in the first place. So let alone moving on from Mike Vrabel, who I think has already shown since being with the Patriots that he's once again one of the top coaches in the NFL. You follow that up by hiring a guy who really had no basis of being a head coach anyways. So it's a situation where I'm not entirely sure what. Sorry, I have a phone call coming in, so thrown off there. I'm not entirely sure what the correct answer would be, but it certainly seems like it's going to be impactful for Cam Ward, and you're not going to get the best version of him throughout the rest of the year, which then puts him behind on a learning curve.
Mike Schaefer, who is a very safe driver, using his turn signals, using Safe Cell with us.
Brent is currently driving. I'm just sitting in the passenger seat.
Oh, okay. Let's look at tonight. You know what Minnesota's looked like through 6, but man, Fleck gets fired up when he sees that red. He's going to see a little red and pink tonight. If Nebraska puts it all together for 60 minutes in this football game, what does tonight look like against this current Minnesota team?
If they put it together for all 60 minutes?
Yep. If they're capable of doing that, and let's say tonight they do on a short week.
Yeah, then I think Nebraska would be able to win this game relatively comfortably. I mean, I think what you're going to see is they don't have turnovers. They're able to pick up third and shorts or fourth and shorts when they have those opportunities. If they play complementary defense where they can limit Minnesota's already kind of stagnant run game, and then they force Drake Lindsey to have to pass into what is the strength of their defense right now. You get some pressure from the outside from Deshaun McCullough and Williams Winery. The special teams plays well. They don't even have to be as good as they've been the last couple of weeks in terms of setting things up. They just have to be, reasonably good. Minnesota's allowed a couple longer punt returns, so there might be some options for Ja'Cory Barney, but their punter is pretty good. And so even if they can play that to a standstill, but everything else looks good, I still think Nebraska could win comfortably if they play a full 60-minute football game. They haven't done that in a Power 4 game this year. And I don't know that they necessarily will, because that's harder than we make it sound, because the other team exists and they have game plans and they have players and everything else. I don't think Nebraska is going to do that. I worry about this game being the second half of back-to-back road games. I worry about Nebraska's ability to play consistent, clean football. After that first drive in the first quarter, they tend to kind of have to find themselves a little bit. And so, can they do that more quickly? Can Emmett Johnson just erase things right away at the beginning of the game? If Nebraska is able to build a quick lead, if they get up by 10, can they get up by 17? Getting up by 3 scores has been an issue for this team. It was against Cincinnati, it was against Michigan State, and it was against Maryland. So, there's little things inside of all of these games where Nebraska can just continue to grow and get just a little bit better. If that all comes together on a Friday night, they should roll through this Minnesota team, because I think Nebraska is a better team, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're better at winning in the margins. That's something that Minnesota has done very well in this series, and I would expect them to continue to do things well in that regard tonight. But I think Nebraska has a lot more talent. It's just whether they can make sure that talent stands out.
How do you think the secondary has handled the Malcolm Hartzog injury and kind of the flipping of roles around there?
Well, do you think they're going to do something different than Sierra Wright inside and Donovan Jones and Andrew Marshall more outside? I mean, I think a lot of it is you don't want to move Jones inside. He's probably better with the boundary. I think Andrew Marshall has played well. You don't want to move him a whole lot. And Sierra Wright's had a fantastic season for a guy whose statistical numbers don't stand out, but it's because nobody's really throwing at him. And so, he's played really, really well there. I think he's put himself, I'd like to talk to Minnesota native Thor Nystrom, who's an NFL draft guru, about where a guy like Sierra Wright has kind of put himself in that conversation, because I think he's a Sunday player now with what we've seen, these, 14 games or so for Nebraska, maybe 15 games. So he's had a really nice stretch of play here. And I hate to say it, because Malcolm Hartzog has had some big moments in his career, but they've kind of made this a moot injury for the most part.
Yeah. But one case, and tackling's got to be better tonight. I thought the tackling and angles were very poor. Didn't come back to completely bury him. But one guy that is playing more because of the injury, and he gets introduced against Michigan, plays better against Michigan State, back on the struggle bus against Maryland. He is a redshirt freshman. What's your assessment halfway through the year of Rex Guthrie?
I think he's a really good athlete. I think his best football is still to come. I think his run fits are kind of poor.
Mm.
I thought it was kind of telling. Maryland ran directly at him, his side of the field more often than not. They challenged him to make those run fits over and over and over, and he didn't at portions of that game. And so that's not to take anything away from what he might be down the line, but he struggled in the run game in a way that I guess I'm a little surprised by. He doesn't, for a guy who's as athletic as he is, he doesn't seem to turn his hips very well. And you know, that's in addition to he's not usually in the spot where you kind of want him. Now that's all going to come with time, and so he's getting a lot of opportunity there. And I think again, he's someone that the best football is very much ahead for him. But this is part of what it is. You got to live with you know, some mistakes in order to get the growth out of these players. And if he goes through a little bit of a tough cycle here and comes out of it and is playing his best football in November, Nebraska is going to be a lot better for it.
Nebraska's played four Power 4 games this season. In 2 of them, the offensive line looked good. In 2 of them, they did not. Your assessment now, just overall, of this offensive line, after a pretty good performance against Maryland heading into Minnesota, is what?
I'm very much in a wait-and-see mode. They finally got to the 5 that I wanted them to sort of have all year long, with Pritchett at the left tackle and Gatua at the right tackle. So they, you know, and Pritchett playing through injury in that Maryland game, you know, we'll see what they look like against Minnesota. If they can build off of that. If they found some things there in the run game that might be useful, I think they're still going to have the bugaboo that they're just not good enough at moving people in those short yardage situations. It makes me wonder if Dana knows that, and that's why Nebraska's red zone offense has been so schizophrenic and leaning so heavily on the pass. Even when Emmett Johnson has shown that he can, you know, be effective from that 7-yard range, they just seem so hesitant to run the ball there, let alone when you get it really tight inside the deep red. And so I do wonder, you know, if that's going to be an issue for them. But I thought the pass protection was better, and certainly, you know, they ran the ball more effectively. Now, with some of that running right at some young defensive ends and running at a Maryland team that couldn't handle it as easily, could be. But
sure.
Minnesota just gave up 280 something to Purdue.
Yeah.
So Nebraska is kind of coming into this game has to think they have the ability to run the football. I know Gary likes to travel. He loves that airport out there in Minneapolis, but it could be a night where Nebraska can run the ball successfully enough that we might even see some different things. Like, I wonder if this is a night where you can get that Heinrich Harburg play to have a little bit more success with what you saw Purdue was able to do in the quarterback run game. I wonder if you couldn't call a Dylan Raiola zone read and have him keep it and have a little success too, because no one's expecting it. So this is a good team for that kind of thing, and I do think they can find some success on the ground again.
Yeah, and I know it's too obvious because Purdue gouged him on the ground, and Nebraska should stick with that. But I mean, I like Dylan instead of handing it off, but I know what their path will probably be. Let me, as we kind of figure this out about Nebraska, what's your general assessment on Minnesota? Because Shafe, they don't look like past Minnesota. They're still trying to figure out on the offensive line. Taylor's now healthy, and he's a wild card tonight. They don't run it down your throat. They like to throw, so they're making a transition. But your general assessment of this Minnesota team in year 9 of PJ Fleck?
I'm a little surprised by this version of Minnesota. I don't know if it's just not. PJ Fleck has had some misses, or they just don't look like the version of this team that we what to really expect here on Friday. Like I said, I think Nebraska has a lot more talent. I think Nebraska is playing better football. I think Nebraska has played better teams, and they're going to be prepared for this game. Ohio State. But I don't know what to make of this Minnesota team, and it does feel like they're in a state of transition. The stuff that they've done well, they're not doing as well. But Drake Lindsey looks like the best quarterback they've had in a little while. So there could be, they could be going through this a little bit, and they could be a lot better by next year.
Not that he does it a lot, but what is your assessment of when Dylan turns his back to the defense and then throws the football? Do you think that's something that he's effective at? And
say that again.
What's your assessment of when Dylan turns his back to the defense and then ends up throwing the ball? Do you think that's something that we could see more as the season goes on, and how effective do you think he's been in those situations?
When he turns his back
play
to the defense,
play action.
Yeah, they haven't run a lot of that, right?
No,
Like,
not a ton.
It's kind of odd. I don't know. I'm not sure. I tend to think that Dana Holgerson is pretty good at finding stuff they don't do very well and just eliminating it from the playbook. And I'm wondering if he just hasn't liked how play action has looked, and that's part of why we haven't seen a lot of it from Nebraska, because you think that would be something that Dylan could do reasonably well. I just don't know. And there's some of it when they've done it, when it's looked the best, it's kind of been some of those run pass options. Like I go back to that play they had with Luke Lindemeyer in the Cincinnati game. Bring that back to the red zone. I mean, just something to get that defense, which is just sitting on top of you in that position, to kind of free it up a little bit. I mean, so I wonder if there's some more run pass option stuff that they have in the playbook there, but straight drop back play action. And you kind of see this throughout football. It feels like it's going away a little bit, or at least in the teams I spend most of the time watching.
Good point.
And so I just wonder if it's not used as much because it takes so much time, and it takes time away from quarterbacks being able to diagnose the field. So if they turn around and they've got to get that ball out quickly, they might be throwing directly into a bad read. So it might be why you see a lot of young quarterbacks not do it as much, and why play action seems like it's not as prevalent in the game.
All right, we'll get you out on this. Which team is more likely to hold on and win? Nebraska goes up by double figures or Minnesota goes up by double figures?
Yeah, weirdly, I feel like both
That's
fair. In that scenario. If Nebraska can up by double figures, it feels like this needs to be the game where they just step on an opponent and finish it. Because I just don't think this Minnesota team is built to threaten them that much through the air. But it'd be more so Nebraska's up by double figures and throws another pick six or has a stupid fumble or, there's the dumb bust on a trick play or something like that. I think something has to get Minnesota back in the game. I think Nebraska, if they're down by 2 scores, could still make that comeback just because I think their offense can be explosive enough when it needs to be.
Yeah, great stuff, Schaefer. We appreciate it. Always have a wonderful weekend.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
So, Mike Schaefer, what do you think? Because you look at, 14-0 Michigan State, 10-0, 24-14 against Maryland. Minnesota has come back from double-figure deficits. Is this the week you get up and then you step on the throat, or is this how we're going to live in 2025?
I think that Nebraska is way more likely to get up double digits than Minnesota. I just think they have more firepower, and I don't think it's a good matchup. Like, if Minnesota's going to get up double digits, they have to score, 2 touchdowns, or they got to move the ball through the air. I just don't think they're going to be able to do that drive in and drive out. They're going to get them. Like, Minnesota's going to score tonight. Drake Lindsey's going to have a really good pass. Like, there will be drives where Minnesota's able to pass it. I just don't think they'll be able to do it consistently enough to get up to a big lead like that.
God, this game is tricky because if you put all the numbers next to each other, this should be a super lopsided game.
It's a 10. If you put in the numbers and on these computers and stuff like that, it shoots out a 10-point victory for Nebraska. And yet, I don't think anybody who's been following this team is confident that will be the result.
Will this be a white knuckler tension convention, or will this be a convincer? We'll give our final thoughts here before we're out of here, and we bring in Austin Jacobson to help me get my $100.
You're not getting. You're not getting your 100.
Scary and Matt on 1620 The Zone. All right, Nebraska is one of 11 ranked teams on the road against unranked teams. Nebraska tonight, Minnesota, 7 o'clock. Nebraska's 5-15 in the last 20 on the road. 10 of those 15 have been 7 points or fewer, but they won at Maryland last week. Second road game in 6 days, trying to win consecutive weeks on the road for the first time since 2006. That's what they're going to try and do tonight.
Yeah, that stat. I mean, it's a great stat. Also, has been misinterpreted, especially
consecutive.
Yes, consecutive, because there have been some Minnesota media who have been using it, and they're like,
those Minnesota media.
Yes,
Patrick Royce, what you doing?
I don't know who that is, but
he is a curmudgeon.
Okay, great.
Like him already. He's a columnist for the now it's called the Minnesota Star Tribune. Great paper. Get the paper either today or tomorrow. They got a great sports page. Their deadlines are a little bit later, so you'll have full coverage. They got great writers. We've had a lot of them on. I love the Star Trib. So Sid Hartman and Patrick Royce were the two main columnists. And one of the other columnists, Dan, is now the afternoon drive guy on KFan, which is great station to listen to.
Shout out Paul Allen.
That's the home of the Gophers, so listen to that if you're up in the Twin Cities. But Patrick is Pat Royce is a curmudgeon, who cannot stand PJ Fleck, so he doesn't call him PJ.
What does he call him?
He calls him by his real name,
Patrick Jordan. Or something?
What is it? It's Phil, isn't it? Whatever PJ, whatever P is, that's what Royce calls it, and he is not on the Fleck train. So he's very much a curmudgeon. He's very sarcastic, drinks like 50 Diet Cokes a day.
Doesn't USC have a guy like that too, where he he's a USC writer and he can't stand Lincoln Riley, and Happer has him on?
So I mean, there's some good people in the media up there.
Oh, I'm sure.
But, I know what they.
I'm not the biggest fan of
CCO,
Paul Allen,
great TV station.
But if I didn't grow up in the NFC North, I'm sure I would love Paul
9
Allen.
to noon on KFan. Paul Allen, the voice of the Vikings.
It's on right now.
Great
Listen
station.
after us.
Great station.
No, after the crossover, actually.
I think I've listened to KFan before. I think you've
Power.
sent,
You get a Power Trip. We could play the initials game with the guys at Power Trip on KFan.
Power Trip was an awesome show. They're incredibly funny up there. I'm just
Great song, too,
when the Bears lose,
I want to be on the initials game. Sauce.
What's the initials game?
It's their signature game. It's a fun game.
I haven't.
Let me read this email from Adam. This is on. He says, "Culture check. I was trying to call, but maybe the Omaha phone don't like calls from the Middle East."
Okay.
Like Eastern Nebraska? Or?
No, this is Adam. He's been listening to 1620 The Zone via podcast on my commute in Dubai for 15 years. So he says, thanks for keeping me company. He was chatting with his brother the other day and talked myself into this take. I think the game is the biggest litmus test for the Rule culture to date. All the distraction with Penn State, an opponent and coach who've had our number, road game at a place we haven't won in a decade, backing up our ranking. This is only the third game we've played as a ranked team since 2016. We're expected to win, but when we do, I think we can fully say that the culture rebuild is complete. Thanks again for the hours of content over the years. Adam, who is our interim Middle East sports correspondent.
Nice.
Thank you very much for reaching out.
I think it's a great take. I think he's totally right. I think that
Dubaians for Nebraska.
This game and the next game in particular are you different games. Because if they go ahead and they win these extra games and they lose to USC, I think it's like, okay, you've made a lot of progress, but maybe you're not there yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I still give them a stumble game, maybe against UCLA and maybe against Iowa, whatever. But these are the two games where you go 7-1 and you beat these two opponents, one of them on the road and one of them who's always been weird for you. It's always been a weird game between Nebraska and Northwestern. That proves me you're different. I agree with that.
Yeah, it's do not overlook bowl eligibility on the 17th of October that could happen tonight. And
massive.
Nebraska just survives and advances, and this will be another weekend where some teams will get eliminated. Ed says, yes, he goes, I read the paper. I'm old. Royce has always called PJ Fleck Phillip.
I kind of love it.
I think Royce was a big Kill and Brewster guy, and he can't stand Fleck. So
I just think that's so petty, and that's awesome. Hey, Phil,
I love my pettiness.
Does he call him Phil at the press conferences?
No, I don't think Patrick goes to press conferences.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, let's do our picks.
I can't.
Okay,
the thumb load won't download. We have here. I can show it to you.
All
right. You are leading 36-9.
36-9. This is a competition where we make 3 picks. You get 5 points for every win. If
He
you
is
win all
whipping
3,
your
you get
ass.
20.
Yes, we're fine, Jimmy.
If you
Man,
lose,
come
you
on.
minus 3.
We need you.
I will eliminate the loser at the end. The listeners will come up with a punishment. I'm willing to get rid of the contest, and if you just give me $100 for
No.
taking a Monster Energy,
I
into
did
the
not
bathroom.
leave the Monster Energy drink
Okay.
in the bathroom.
I was just giving you a chance before Austin joins us, and you have to tell Austin that he's a liar on air.
I'm not going to tell Austin he's a liar on air
Then he
because I
told
don't
the
think
truth.
Austin's lying. There might have been a Monster Energy drink in the bathroom. It's just my Monster Energy drink was taken with me to the car.
Guilty by association. All right, your 3 games?
I'm going to go 2 kind of mainstay, 2 Power 5 games, and then 1 sneaky, really non-Power 5 game. So I'm going to do Ole Miss plus the points. Right now they're trading over at 7.5. Then I'm going to do Purdue and Northwestern. I'll take the over at 46.5. And then I'm going to take Utah State minus 3.5 against San Jose State.
Okay. I will go with, I feel bad for Sparty. Oh, have you seen what Sparty has done here on defense? 40 to
not
BC, 45 to USC, 38 to Nebraska,
Oof.
38 to UCLA. Now they play Indiana. I will take the Hoosiers in a big number, 27.5.
Okay.
I will also take UCLA at home, getting as a 3.5-point favorite because Maryland's traveling across the country. And I will go the over.
Okay.
SMU Clemson, which is 55.5.
I like that. 55.5. Writing that down. Little Big Ten flavor from you. I thought you might take the Hoosiers team total over with how you're talking that up. Minus 20. If you're gonna play it, you gotta lay it.
That's a Lee
It's
Sterling
a lot of numbers.
Phrase. Again, Minnesota last 6 home games as an underdog, they're 1-5.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a good one. You said that earlier in the show.
7.5 is where the line is at. Second straight game, Nebraska's been favored on the road. Now here's another nugget, kind of what Adam said. In games since 16 that Nebraska has played, remember, you're trying to prove that 25 is nothing like the past for Nebraska.
That's what this
Nebraska
all about.
since 16, when they played as a ranked team, are 8-6. 3 of the 6 losses have been to unranked teams.
That's tough. I think that this is, you kind of have everything that you never have had in the past, right? You have the number.
Deep.
You have the record. You have the excitement. You have the stable head coach. And you have an actual outlook toward the playoff. Like this is, and maybe you could have said this when they beat Michigan State, but I think you definitely could say it now after they beat Maryland and they're a 7.5-point favorite against Minnesota. Everything that Nebraska has been building toward with Matt Rule is in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
This is the game where you go and take it. This is the game where you say, and what I like, Gary, I like that you see some teams sometimes that go on these runs and they haven't won in a while and they go 5-1 and they're happy-go-lucky and they're happy to be there and they're excited about the future. I like that this team has a little bit of PO energy. They're a little pissed off when I see John Butler, Dana Holgorsen, Matt Rule. They're not giving off happy-go-lucky vibes. Dylan Raiola, he doesn't seem happy. He seems motivated. Like that's the vibe I get from this team. They're 5-1 and they still want to prove some things.
Yeah.
That's a great place to be.
Another opportunity to show me that 2025 is different, that we should think different around here. We'll give our final picks in the next segment. Ray says this should be the loser of our contest. You have to drink a Monster Energy drink the next day after being left open all day in the NRG bathroom. I don't know. You've done that before, so.
Do you have our benefits? Get full coverage?
No, I'm still on my
The
parents.
particles.
Okay, good. Yeah.
The particles that were in that drink.
I did not drink a drink after it was all day in the bathroom. That's a lie. That is false. That's a falsity.
Something about the bathroom in this building, because Bishop left his pants in the bathroom.
Yeah, that was a weird email to get at night yesterday. My pants from John Bishop.
I saw him on the door, and so I put him on his desk, so he's good.
Nice. That was very nice of you,
Well, I
Jimmy.
mean, I had to go to the bathroom when I got here, so.
Did he drink the Monster Energy drink?
No, it wasn't there anymore.
They've done a DNA swab.
Yeah, no, they haven't.
You have a chance to give me my $100 right now.
I'm not going to give you $100.
Someone
took my
lied that
Monster
you did
Energy
something
drink.
you didn't do, So that's what I take from this. But also, I want to know who did leave.
You've been
I'm
set
standing-
up. That's what you're
I'm
saying.
That's what I
standing
think. It's an
10
inside
toes
job.
down on I know I walked into my car with a Monster Energy drink and a Gatorade because I had to throw away a bunch of stuff so they could be in the cup holder.
But it looked very familiar, didn't it, Jimmy?
It did.
Like we've seen that before in the same spot.
I
I
saw
ain't
the
backing
picture. I was like, damn it, he did it again.
If I legitimately left it in the bathroom and I knew I left it in the bathroom, I would have just sent you the $100 and been like, hey, I lost. But I've been incredibly careful with how I've been doing this.
You have. I was very proud of you. But there's also guilt by association of all the other things that you owe us from bets.
Sometimes you
BS
stub
that
your
get just
toes and you
win
lose
this
to a bad
competition
team.
based on the past and not based on my current actions. My current actions were I walked to the car with my Monster Energy drink.
A person that listens to the show from the Douglas County Attorney's Office says guilty as charged.
It just doesn't look good. We
Yeah,
got to
bad-
find an
bad
alibi.
look. I love Austin.
It's a great city.
Yeah. All right.
People's
Our
Republic.
final thoughts on what's going to happen tonight. Busy day here on the Zone. You got Creighton and Iowa State, the exhibition game. And then Big Red Overreaction, Matt and Josh will take you home into Saturday morning.
Yes, we will.
Yes.
Hopefully it won't be a 3-hour and 40-minute game like you predicted.
Maybe with a lot of passing. I'm going to get 10:25. 10:25. You'll be on the air tonight.
That'll be fine.
That's 3 hours and 25
We'll
minutes.
go into the next morning.
Yeah. Hey, that's what we do around here.
And then I'll be golfing like 7 hours later. It'd be great.
All right. Without $100, which you'll be sending me. Long time to wait till 7 o'clock, but we got you covered until then right here on the Zone. We're back with wrap of the week after this. All right, it is a game day. It is Friday night in the Twin Cities. Huntington Bank Stadium, Nebraska trying to slay the past. They lost 5 in a row to PJ. He's 6-1 against Nebraska.
Phil.
When he sees the red, he gets fired up. And you know what he says? Down with Nebraska. Row the boat. I'm gonna be going down the Missouri River in the boat. He's had success, but this is not your past PJ Fleck Minnesota Golden Gophers. This is not your past Nebraska Cornhuskers. They meet tonight, 7 o'clock. Sync it up with the TV and the radio, because if not, you're going to be stuck with Brando.
How do you do?
Ha!
Yeah. Hey.
Larry the Cable Guy. What a friend.
What happens tonight? Jimmy?
Man, if there's any game I can't get a feel, it's this one. But I do know that Emmett Johnson's going to be running a man with bad intentions, I would not want to try and tackle him. Nebraska wins 23-17 because we're going to party like 2006 tonight. Back-to-back road wins, and I'm going to be living it up like it's 2006 when I was Matt's age, doing my best Hunter S. Thompson. Oh, yeah. Time and place, my friend.
Nice job.
Time and place.
I think tonight, for the first time in what feels like a long time, will be normal. I think this will just be a normal football game. I think Nebraska's going to win 24-14. Okay.
All right.
I think at the end of the first half, they'll be up 17. Okay. And then, or it'll be 17 to like 3 or 17 to 7, something like that. And then Minnesota will score. It'll be 17-14. You'll freak out a little bit. And then Nebraska will go down the field. They'll score 24-14. They'll shut them down. It'll just be a normal, good old-fashioned 10-point win. Nebraska covers. Easy peasy, lemon breezy.
If I'm wrong about the outcome of this game, is because I gave too much credence to a good inner culture that's going on. Think about this week for Nebraska. It's a short week. Pretty emotional game to win at Maryland.
Yeah.
Celebrate with the fans.
Long trip.
Got to fly out there, fly back, short week. And then all of a sudden, your coach, you hear rumors about him going to a conference foe, and he addresses it with the team. And you're like, whoa. We got a game to play.
Yeah.
So now you're on the road. It's an Emmett day. They're going to Emmett's High School right now as we speak to go through their walkthrough. If this team is really different and they've given you they've dropped a lot of Taylor Swift eggs to say, yeah, we got to change our thinking. Disruption, a little bit of uniqueness, out of ordinary schedule. Last week, they handled 2 weeks away from campus. This week, they have a short week against a team and a coach that has owned them up in that building. I think Nebraska, in a very choppy game that will look very similar to what it has looked like the last couple of weeks, beginning, end, middle. Nebraska finds a way to make 1 or 2 plays in the fourth quarter again, and they turn the ball over, but it doesn't bury them, and they win 27-23.
Okay.
So that's what I'm thinking here.
Oh, God.
It's a weird, there is part of me that is Nebraska should blow Minnesota out, but I'm not there yet to go, okay.
If there was ever a time for them to do it,
I like that. What was that sentence? Credence to the culture. Like that's what I think that's the theme is.
Tonight they could be bowl eligible. Do not overlook that. Crazy. Break the streak against Minnesota. Win in white uniforms with a little bit of pink. And then they come home for Northwestern. And while teams fall off the map in the race for the playoff, Nebraska wins tonight. They hang around. Now, if Nebraska loses, they're off the playoff map, and we just worry about Northwestern next week. But this is a very intriguing game. Start of the second half, I think it says a lot about where Nebraska is headed in 2025 and maybe beyond. But they're going to need some guys to make plays tonight.
Oh, big time.
I think Dylan's got to be wheeling and dealing. And what will 21 look like going back home?
I hope he runs.
Because this will be the last time he gets to go back home as a Husker.
I hope he runs motivated and not with adrenaline, right? I hope it's controlled.
I love that we have Friday night football. There's some great high school games. So pick and choose where you're going. But remember, when the game is over, immediately come to 1620 The Zone. You might already be here because Creighton and Iowa State play tonight. And you hear John on the play-by-play. So stay with The Zone all day long, all night long. We'll take you into Saturday morning, and we'll come back and talk about it on Monday at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
See if I have $100 or not. For Jimmy, For Matt, I'm Gary. Iowa's playing, so live, laugh, and punt. Make memories. Be safe, everybody. Enjoy Friday night football. Hopefully, it does not lead to a bad vibe weekend. 7 o'clock tonight, Nebraska, Minnesota. I love that a Friday night game is right here in the show. It's not on Black Friday.
Yeah.
It's on Friday of a regular show. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you on Monday at 6. The crossover. Last chance.
I didn't do anything. The glove does not fit.
So Richard Kimball said, took an hour and a half to figure it out.
I like how you threw Chicago in there. Have a great day, everybody.
Okay.
This is Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone.